morning. I'm Eric Reeser. Selection Sundays, 13 days from today. Basketball Buckeyes got on the right side of the bubble with a 74-82 win over number 8 Purdue yesterday at the Shot. Junie Mobley led with 21. Ohio State's 10-8 in Big Ten play. That's the most conference wins in 4 years for the Buckeyes. They'll play at Penn State Wednesday night at 7:30. The Ohio State women's squad's headed to Indianapolis for this week's Big Ten tournament. The 13th ranked Buckeyes beat number 15 Michigan State 87-68 yesterday. They'll wrap the regular season and have a bye into Wednesday's second round. An NFL free agency begins next week. The Browns acquired Texans right tackle Titus Howard in exchange for a fifth-round pick. This update is sponsored by Dr. Mark Levy. If you're snoring and not sleeping, give Mark Levy's office a call at 1-800-MORE-SLEEP or visit him online at sleepbettercolumbus.com. Breaking sports news when it happens on The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Your morning just got more interesting. Distilled and barrel-picked for your listening pleasure. Bo Bishop, a local sports media legend. What William T. Sherman was to the Union Army, he is to Northern College football. A husband, a father, and middling youth sports coach. He's friends with Central Ohio sporting royalty.
I'm talking to Ohio State Athletic Director Ross Bjorken. Coach Day walking on with us right now. Good to see you, buddy. Good buddy Austin Ward. My good buddy Tim May, the Tim May Show. The great Doug Lavery's joining us.
Hi, everybody. Dom Barry here.
Oh, Reese came in and he handed me papers.
Yeah,
and then
it's a rundown.
And then he said, "You see that button? That's the only button you need to worry about. Don't touch. There's 8,000 buttons in front of me." Oh, I didn't know what he was talking about.
The one that says on.
We blew the budget on this imaging, and only 2 guys answered our ad on Craigslist. Ryan Baker and Eric Reeser. Act accordingly. You're now listening to Bishop and Friends.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Diamond Seller, your true jeweler for over 75 years.
All right, let's do it live on a Monday edition of the program. Bo and the boys with you for the next 3. It's a man after my heart. It's a man after my heart. Come on. Welcome to March, kids. This is all you need. It's all you need to get you through in March, especially after the snow this morning, which came out of nowhere and affected all of your commutes. You guys okay on yours? Everybody all right? You navigated? Got the Huskies out?
It's not the roads, it's the people.
Exactly.
Roads stink. Roads are going to stink, but
yeah,
it's everybody that feels like, A, I don't have to change my speed, or I'm going to drive very, 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 very slowly.
70 was, there was snow on it, but the snow was out of the lanes. Like if you were changing lanes, you dealt with a little pile of snow from it, people's tires pushing it over, but there was no need for 35 on the freeway.
Yeah, we can manage the speed. We should be able to manage the speed limit.
55, I get you. 35, come on.
It's the outliers. It's the 35s and the 95s that cause all the problems on that side of things. And I will be honest, I would prefer the 35s to the 95s because the 95s end up in chaos in the 95s. That almost always ends in a wreck. 35s can too. That's pretty extreme. 35. 55, okay. But yeah, best thing, just stay in your lane and navigate your way along. March is around here. It was my favorite month as a kid because my birthday's at the end of it, and that's obviously a big part, especially when you're a kid. I care very little about them now. In fact, they're only a reminder of how old I'm getting. But as a kid, you look forward to them in a very, very big way. So March was the birthday month, and then March was March Madness. That's what it was. And as a kid, this was my favorite sporting event. Second was 110th. There was nothing in the vicinity of March Madness for me. Absolutely nothing. And the reality is that there was something magical about it. And it was the time of year where the only really day where I was given an excused absence from school by my mom, and I could pick either the Thursday or Friday of the first round of the NCAA tournament. I could pick either one. I could pick Thursday or Friday, and I could skip school that day to watch the tournament. The good news was that even on the day I didn't, my math teacher was the basketball coach, and so he would wheel in a TV and we would watch the first round of the NCAA tournament on the television. We'd be able to see it that way. But it was it's the most captivating event of my childhood. But there's magic to it. There's magic to One Shining Moment. There's magic to Cinderella. There were players who seemed larger than life. If you grew up around here and if you're of a certain age, you certainly can be transported back immediately to the Jimmy Jackson era, and that run coming up just short in the Elite Eight. After I think they beat Michigan 3 times that year in the regular season, and then they lost to them twice in the regular season. There was no big turn. Beat them twice in the regular season, then lost to them in the Elite Eight.
Yep, they lost the third matchup in the tournament.
Painful one. Wasn't here for that, Bake. That's obviously right in your wheelhouse. If you're of a certain age, you certainly remember Scooney Penn and Mike Redd in '98 making a run that kind of came out of nowhere to the Final Four. I got here in May of 07, and it was coming off of watching Florida beat Ohio State and covering that run that the Gators had to the national championship with Connolly and Oden. And then I got here in 07, and it was in the golden era of it all. And some of the most fun that I've ever had when I was covering Ohio State, I'm talking about on the road with them the way that Dami is or Adam is, or Nicole is right now, the most fun I ever had were the 2 runs in the NCAA tournament. The run in 2010-11. I'd forgotten the 2010-11 team. This is the Diebler, Lighty team. Sullinger's a freshman, Kraft's a freshman. That team started 24-0. I had forgotten that. I knew that they spent most of that year ranked number 1. They were number 1 for 6 weeks. But they started that year 24-0. They won the Big Ten outright, won the Big Ten tournament. They went into the NCAA tournament 29-2 and the number 1 overall seed. And I remember looking at the bracket that they were given, and the bitter pill on this was Gene Smith was the athletic director at the time, and he was the chair of the college basketball selection committee. And so he was the one explaining it. And I remember looking at the bracket, and they did him a favor in the first round, and they were playing out of Cleveland. He said, okay, well, that's a win. But then I looked at the regional matchups with Kentucky and North Carolina, and everybody who followed that team knew the one thing that they were going to have trouble with was length. And Kentucky and Carolina had incredible length. Even if you would have gotten through Kentucky, Brandon Knight hit a great shot. What's crazy about that, Diebler hit a 3 on the possession before to tie the game, and then Brandon Knight hit the shot in the lane, and then William Buford just missed at the buzzer a 3 that would have won it. But that was the number 1 overall seed being bounced. And I remember talking to Jared Sullinger in the locker room post-game, and he was emotional, and we said, are you coming back? And there was labor dispute in the NBA, and he said, I'm coming back. And I said, I turned the camera off. We're like, I'm not going to hold you to that because you're emotional right now. And then he did. And then the next year, they did it all over again and got all the way to the Final Four. And I've said many times, it's the most fun I ever had covering an Ohio State sport was that run in 2011 and 12. They was with them the whole way. Lost in the Big Ten championship game to Draymond and Michigan State. Were a 2 seed and then just romped through Pittsburgh, wins over Loyola and Gonzaga. Then they beat Cincinnati and Syracuse and Boston in the regional final, and then lose to Kansas by 2 in the Final Four to just cap 2 incredible runs. There's probably people out there who were there for Aaron Kraft's shot against Dayton or LaQuinton Ross's shot against Arizona. There are all these moments that are such indelible moments in your Buckeye fandom, and we need to have them back. And hopefully what happened yesterday gets us going in the right direction. But there is something about the hope of March, the magic of March, and that tournament that, as all things have changed around the sport everywhere, and college basketball this year we've talked about a lot, is lights out. That tournament's going to be unbelievable. And there's been a bunch of changes. That tournament still draws all of you in. There is something about brackets and Cinderella and this person plays this person that we are just addicted to. And the audience for it is as big as it's ever been. And that part isn't changing. And God, I hope this Buckeye team can be a part of it. I really do. I think it's something that only lasts forever when you can have a special run in March. All those memories I just trickled off, many of you out there, if you're a certain age, like you remember it, or you were there, you were at those games. It's something that is just so incredible if you can be a part of it.
I mean, for a lot of us, our first taste at sports gambling was in middle school or maybe even earlier doing a bracket.
It's a great point.
Whether it's with your friends or with your family, you're throwing a couple of dollars, or there's something on the line for a bracket challenge. I mean, Man and Timmy today at 3 o'clock are going to do the Pizza Madness unveiling. For that everyone loves a good bracket, and we've loved a good bracket since we can only remember. And so all those memories that you invoke of Ohio State teams that made improbable runs or that made runs and then were upset in improbable ways. And even for some of you mid-major fans out there, watching your team make runs into the final weekend of the calendar or of the tournament are things you'll remember only forever. And they're things that you remember with your family and things that you remember with your friends. And that was one of the coolest things yesterday for an Ohio State team that hasn't won 10 games in the Big Ten in 4 years.
Yeah.
Was that they got over on a Purdue team from almost start to finish. And that Purdue team's a 2 seed. And so it goes to the thing that we've been saying for the past couple of weeks. If you can get in, you can get hot. You can get Jody Mobley shooting like he did yesterday and getting help from others and helping out Bruce Thornton. That's what's been the most frustrating thing, I think, about this team is it's there.
Yeah.
For this Ohio State team, it's there. It just hasn't really shown itself consistently. And so that's what you're going to need. But yesterday was of the many magical things with March, kind of that reminder, watching students storm the floor at the Schottenstein Center. It's like, that's what this is about. That's what you hope for in the next couple of weeks.
And I think it's like March Madness itself is even more than the gambling on the tournament and all of that. Like, I just remember as a kid, couldn't wait to wake up that Monday morning after the selection Sunday and getting the Columbus Dispatch.
That's right.
And going to Grandpa's house and us filling out our brackets together.
You cut it out.
And arguing about games. Yeah, you usually had a whole page, right, Bo? They had the men's tournament on the top, and they had the women's bracket on the bottom, and you could just pull that whole page out.
Whole thing.
And fill those out, and then going throughout and putting the X or the green or the highlighter. And I think it's also, you talked about all the moments for Ohio State teams, but it's just the moments of the tournament in general that you'll always remember. The Christian Laettner shot in that game with Bryce Drew sliding on the floor, Tyus Edney going coast to coast, Butler making an improbable run to the final game, George Mason getting to the Final Four. I think it's just all those moments where it's not even your team, but you still remember those. And it's probably in all honesty, a one-game thing, a one-off tournament like that, it's probably the worst way in sports to crown a champion.
It is,
but it's
the worst
the
way.
most fun and exciting.
It's a great point out of you. It is the worst way to determine a champion because it's a one-off. Like, if you want a true champion, do best of anything, and then you get it. But it's a one-off, and the three-point shot has evened the playing field. That's why, there was never a 16 over a 1. That's happened twice now. We've had 16s beat 1s. You've had mid-major teams reach the Final Four, like George Mason, like that's happened. And you're right. I think about Ohio, that year that Ohio State got to the Final Four. Ohio got all the way to the Sweet 16 before losing to Carolina, right, Reese? In overtime?
In St. Louis.
Yeah. And you were there.
Yeah, you watch those two teams break the huddle, and it's like, no, wait a minute. They're not. That's not a competition, but it is.
No. And I remember we were at Channel 10 at the time. Greg Miller was an Ohio grad, and he went and covered that while Dom and I went with the Buckeyes. So we were in both places. He was in St. Louis covering Ohio. We were in Boston covering the Buckeyes. So that the bigness of all of that it's just so cool. It's fun. You bring up Bryce Drew. Do you know that the play that we use in youth basketball to this day, and I've used in youth basketball with under 3 seconds, down 2 or 3, we have the Bryce Drew play. All of my teams do. Because it's a perfect play. If you got a kid who can throw it to half court and you got a big who can catch it and toss it to a shooter, you're getting momentum towards the shot. And we call it Bryce Drew. So to your point, Bake, yes, it's not just Buckeyes. It's all of the moments that happen. And hopefully this team can be a part of it. A big step yesterday, but much more work to do, and you cannot rest on your laurels this week, not by a damn stretch. We will get to what we saw yesterday. You mentioned the court storming. Some people up in arms about that. We'll get to all of that coming up next. We're off and running on a Monday. Bishop and Friends, right here on The Fan.
Big voice guy here to remind you that you're listening to The Fan, Ohio sports destination. Okay, thanks. I have 3 more seconds. Bye-bye.
Men, we all know how important sex is in a relationship, both for you and your partner. But erectile dysfunction ruins sex, which can often have serious impacts on your relationship as well. This is Jeff for Tri-State Men's Health. And if ED is a problem in your life, you understand the impacts it has on you and the one you love. But I'm here to tell you that ED is a treatable condition, and almost without exception, you can have really good sex again. At Tri-State Men's Health, we're experts in treating ED. We've treated tens of thousands of men with protocols that are effective in well over 90% of cases, which means if you're like most guys, good sex will be the norm. You could even last up to an hour or more and bring a level of intimacy for you and your partner that might just astound you both. It's time to have really good sex again, so call us. Just $99 gets you blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 800-900-9654 or go to tristatemenshealth.com. We have 6 offices in the tri-state area to serve you.
It's March. Send it in, big fella. That means the greatest sports weekend of the year is coming, and the best place to set the puppies and watch the tournament is at Hollywood Casino Columbus. I'm Scotty Vegas, and Thursday through Sunday opening weekend, kiss the kids goodbye and hang out from noon to 5 with the fan at the Hollywood Casino Sportsbook. A Bill Raftery impersonation contest, free throw games, free shirts, and more. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem, call 1-800-589-9966. Onions!
Enjoy more ways to save at Kroger, like low prices in every aisle. And you can clip and save more with digital coupons in the Kroger app. Plus, you can earn fuel points to save up to $1 per gallon at the pump. So it's always easy to save big. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Savings may vary by state. Fuel restrictions apply. See site for details.
Save big on a delicious roast. Right now, USDA Choice Boneless Chuck Roasts are on sale for only $6.99 a pound with your card. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Hey everybody, it's Jeremy Birmingham Berm from the Austin and Berm Show on 97.1 The Fan. I hit maintenance mode after dropping 35 pounds with Awaken 180. The Awaken 180 coaches made it simple. Now pizza and ice cream are back, but the cravings aren't. That's a complete mindset shift. Awaken180weightloss.com.
Hey there, friends. It's Bo Bishop here. You know High Bank for their award-winning spirits, but the food deserves just as much love. Enjoy happy hour with friends, brunch with family, and dinner that never misses. Make your reservation today at highbankco.com. Dine, drink, distill at High Bank.
What's the best way to make sure you don't miss any of your favorite fan shows? Oh, no. Download the Fan app, silly.
Ah, damn it, I knew that.
App Store, Google Play, or just scream right at your phone. Psst, you can also listen to Buckeye games. Do it now.
Fall is a season of change, and Hinderer Motor Company is turning over a new leaf with big savings. This is Justin Hinderer. Right now, any one of our participating locations is paying up to $3,500 over Kelley Blue Book value. That's right. Drive in your current vehicle and leaf with one of ours today. Don't wait. The leaves are falling and so are the prices. At Hinderer Motor Company, we love what moves you.
The ONN Daily Podcast. Get a recap of all the day's news from across the state.
ONN affiliate WBNS TV reports.
Haley Kirby reporting in downtown Toledo.
From the State House, Kevin Landers.
ONN Canton. ONN affiliate WKYC TV in Cleveland explains.
In Marietta, Brett Wharf, ONN News.
Emma Henderson in Genoa.
The ONN Daily Podcast. Listen at ONNradio.com or wherever you download your favorite podcasts from the Ohio News Network.
Hello, it's John Kozik, founder and president of TurboTrack Realty, and I buy real estate as is, fast for cash. Give us a call today for an all-cash offer at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000. I buy vacant properties, inherited homes, divorce situations, death in the family, apartment buildings, commercial properties. I even buy my tenants won't pay me the rent houses. Give us a call today for an all-cash offer at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
We'll turn into mostly sunny skies this afternoon, and daytime highs will struggle to get into the upper 30s. For tonight, rain develops overnight with patchy fog, and then for Tuesday, expect rainy day ahead with patchy fog in the morning and daytime highs eventually getting in the mid to upper 50s. For The Fan, I'm meteorologist Meredith Garfalo with the 10 Weather Impact Forecast.
All the Ohio State conversation you can handle. The Buckeye Show.
Weeknights at 6.
Your Ohio State flagship station. The Fan. After putting up with Dom Tiberi for a decade, the broadcast gods gave Bo these two. This is Bishop and Friends.
Must win. That's what it was. It was a must win. Now, the crazy thing is Jake Diebler just owns Matt Painter. I mean, 3-0 against Purdue since he's been the head coach. Beating them when they were number 2 in the country went a long way in him securing the job. Beat them last year. Now beat them this year, 82-74. It was a game they had to have. They all are. That one was a must win. The game against Penn State on Wednesday is a must win. The game against Indiana next weekend is a must win. If you lose either of those two, then the good that was done with the win yesterday is bye-bye. It's out the door. So you have to keep this momentum going. I think there were two things that were pretty noteworthy to me just in terms of the way that they approached this game. Number one, this was an incredibly short bench for Jake Diebler. He played 8 guys, and Cupps only played 8 minutes. So it was kind of just 7, really. Really 7 guys. And the other thing that jumped out to me, and that's how this roster was put together, the dudes were dudes. The dudes were dudes. Bruce was a dude. Mobley was a dude. Royal was a dude. Bynum was a dude. The dudes are dudes. And when that's the case, this can be a really dangerous team. When Mobley shoots it at the level that he shot it over the last month, especially, I mean, he has the injury, obviously, that caused him to miss some games, but the way that he shot it over the last month, they can beat damn near anybody. Now, there are some teams that are just, it's pretty close to finite. Like Michigan is always going to be a full day trying to beat a team with that amount of length. There are certain things that are always going to bother them because of the size of their backcourt. When you have 2 littles in the backcourt, there's going to be some teams that are going to bully ball you. But if you shoot it well, you can overcome some of that. And I was thrilled. I mean, it just kind of had all of the things that invoke the feels for you, doesn't it? When you think about the tip time, when you think about the opponent, when you think about a Sunday, when you think about it being March 1st, it just kind of checked all of the boxes that were necessary in a game that they had to have. They got it. And now keep doing it. You need 2 more, finish out this thing. You get yourself to a point where you're 12-8 in Big Ten play going into the Big Ten tournament, then you're going to be in the NCAA tournament, I think, almost regardless of what happens in the Big Ten. So this was a must-win, had to have it. They got it. Now keep going. In terms of the way the game was played yesterday, fellas, what jumped out to you? What can be something that they can apply to future opponents when they play teams of this caliber?
They were moving.
Yeah.
And that's been like one of, I've had several problems with the way this team's played over the past couple of months, but they were just constantly moving. Even sometimes with Yegovin setting moving screens that, man, getting his shoulder into the face, that would put me on the floor for maybe 30 minutes. But the idea that it was just consistent movement, that everybody was they had a different assignment and they moved with the ball, they moved on defense. Like they forced Purdue at times, especially to go into the half, feeling as confident as you were with the way Purdue was shooting the 3. You still, as Ohio State, felt confident in what you were doing. And that's just because so many times they've been stagnant, but you saw movement. And they helped Bruce out with that because he's obviously going to be your catalyst going to the hoop. But you had your bigs there as well that provided against a Purdue size. Like I was listening to the broadcast yesterday, and Paul said it's going to be 16 years at least that Purdue is going to have a guy over 7 foot. 16 straight years. They've got, I think, 2 guys that are 7 feet or taller on this. Like they have them cloned in a basement in West Lafayette. But you got to move against those guys. You can't just stand there and try to post them up.
Yeah, they played with pace.
To me, it was the effort on the glass, which hasn't been there a lot this year. And for you to out-rebound a Purdue team 36-29, as you mentioned, Reese, a Purdue team that's always good on the inside and always has good big men, that was awesome. I think, and that's why I think Mobley was good yesterday. And then it was kind of like him and Thornton switched. Mobley was running things early, but then when it was down the stretch, they kind of gave the ball back to Bruce. But I think Ivan Yegovin was the player of the game for Ohio State yesterday, just keeping offensive rebounds alive a couple times. He may not have gotten the rebound, but he tapped it out to other guys who did get the rebound. I was super impressed with the way Ohio State hit the glass yesterday. Devin Royal, 9 rebounds. We haven't seen that a lot out of him this year. I know they've tried to move him from the 4 to the 3. I thought that was a bad move when they did it. And it's kind of like maybe he's going to be inside more now and Tilly maybe outside more now. I don't know, but you need that effort from all those guys on the glass.
Yeah, I think the game you got out of Bruce and Junie is that's the requirement. They both need to get 20. That's the requirement. That's just in order to get to the number for you to win games. And I do think this team can be at its best when it plays fast. So when it gets to the 80s, you feel pretty good about things. If they get into a rock fight, they are not a rock fight team. That's just not who they are. They don't have the size for that. And so if you get up and down and you shoot it well, you can do those things. Junie had a stretch in mid-January through the end of January against UCLA, Minnesota, Michigan, and Penn State. They went 3-1 in those. Did lose by 8 up in Ann Arbor, but we're in that game the whole way, where he went 25, 22, 26, 28 in those 4 games. 3-pointers made in those 3 games, 5, 4, 5, 6. That is not a luxury. That is a requirement. It's a requirement. He is in his second year. He's one of the best shooters that you've seen. He hit 5 threes yesterday. He was 3 for 4 from 3 in the bad loss at Iowa last week. He has to hit 5 threes, 4 threes. He's got to get 20. Bruce has got to get 20. If you're going to make a run in March, then you have got to have those 2 guys both in that 20-point range, both of them, not one. It can't just be Bruce. It's got to be both of them. And if they're both there, then you got a chance to do these things. But you need them both to be in the 20s.
And to your point, when it's just one of them, the offense just is so painful to watch.
No, they don't have any. They don't have an option.
It's not. Yeah,
they just don't have somebody else who can get it. Like those 2 guys have to go get it at a very high level. And Bruce has been playing at a pretty absurd level for most of the last month. I mean, you go back. I mean, even in these losses, you go back to beginning of the month against Maryland, it's 17, 16, 21, 28, 27, 32, 10 in the loss to Iowa, 20 in the game yesterday. And it's rebounding, it's assists, it's all of the things that need to happen. But that's the minimum requirement. This is the way that this team was built. You need 20 out of both of them. You probably need, if you want to talk about success, not just this week with Penn State and Indiana, but if you're going to have success in March, then you need 15 out of Devin Royal. You need 12 out of Bynum. You start doing the math on all of that, and then you start getting into the 60s and 70s pretty quickly. And that's just the way this team is built. They're not very deep. They don't have a ton of people who can go get their own, and they need the guards to knock down threes. That's the recipe.
I wonder how this season goes, and you mentioned, Bo, those guys, and you need that. I think you also need the 6 to 8 to 10 points you're getting from Tayson Chapman right now.
Of course.
And I wonder how this season goes if Tayson Chapman is fully healthy and ready at the beginning. And they say he was, but he hadn't played basketball for a long time, and you never know how you react from practice to in-game. It sure seems like he's back to at least as close to 100% as we've ever seen him since his time here on campus.
Yeah, he looks good.
And I wonder how different this season goes if they just get a little bit of this from him early on.
Yeah, over the last month, like the trust in him, and it was kind of out of necessity because he had so many injuries. The injury to Mobley changed everything, but he came in and has played well. And, I mean, he gave him 23 minutes yesterday. So, yeah, I mean, it wasn't deep, but the guys who did play contributed in a big way. The Buckeye women winners as well, 87-68 against Michigan State. That was 13 against 15. That ends a 3-game losing streak for them. Their first game will be in Indianapolis, the Big Ten tournament on Thursday. That is this Thursday against Nebraska or Indiana. They are the 5 seed in the Big Ten tournament. So congratulations to them. Jelani Cambridge had 33. She is good. As for the men's side of things, this was nice, but more is needed. And some thoughts from the opposing coach on the guy who's going to be the all-time leading scorer in the history of this program that you're going to want to hear. That's in 2 minutes. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
Family owned and operated. It isn't all sunshine and rainbows. This is Dennis Sullivan, president of Care Heating and Cooling. Here's something you don't hear admitted very often. When you run a business with your family, you don't always get along with them. We argue, we debate, we have real conversations about the decisions that we make. But at Care, every conversation comes back to our priorities, doing right by our employees and our customers. Because when you treat your team like family, they take better care of the families they serve. And when you treat your customers the way you want your own family treated, trust follows. That mindset doesn't always maximize short-term profits, but it builds something better, long-term relationships. Today, more and more local companies are being bought by venture capital firms, where maximizing profits often leads to a sales-first mentality. CARE is still family-owned and locally operated, so we can keep people, not profits, at the center of every decision. CARE Heating and Cooling. Call 1-800-COOLING when you need a company you can trust.
At Babs R Us, we believe home improvement is life improvement. As the Midwest's fastest growing 5-star bathroom remodeler, we're more than just transformations. We're a community driven by a mission to bring your dreams to life. Our installation team, part of the Babs R Us community, isn't just skilled. They're dedicated to respecting your home. Each day, they bring craftsmanship and hustle, turning your dream space, no matter the size, into reality. Together, we embrace a culture that values diversity, collaboration, and giving back. From supporting local projects to fostering a workplace where every voice is valued. Babs R Us is more than a company. It's a community of experts. We're also expanding locations to create more possibilities for homeowners across the Midwest. Wherever you are, you'll find us ready to turn your dreams into something you can see, feel, and enjoy every day. Right now, get $1,500 off a shower or tub replacement, or $3,000 off a full bathroom remodel. Plus, low to no monthly payments. Call 380-225-BAB to schedule your free estimate, or go to babsrus.com. Babs R Us, where dreams soak in.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Diamond Seller, your true jeweler for almost 80 years. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
What's up? What's up, man? What's up with you?
Well, they're all must-wins. We said it last week. As soon as you lost to Iowa, you got to win out. The first step in that happened yesterday. This was the most difficult one, beating a ranked Purdue team, number 8 team in the country. Excuse me, on your home court. You got Penn State on Wednesday, and then Indiana here over the weekend. Here's Jake postgame on the big win.
Yeah, I thought Yvonne went in there and battled. I mean, we left him on an island against one of the best low post scorers in the country. You know, out of fear for their ability to shoot threes, and he battled. He battled on the glass. I thought his offensive rebound tip outs, and I thought Devin Royal had some big time offensive rebounds down the stretch that I believe twice resulted in free throws. So those two guys, you know, Devin found a way. It wasn't his best, you know, scoring night from the field, but he found a way to impact the game by going to the glass. I mean, and that was great, and getting to the free throw line. So, you know, Tilly stepped up, found a way to be available. Amari, same thing. We weren't sure if he was going to be there. He found a way to be available, hit a big three for us. So I think you can go down the list, really, of all the guys that stepped up and gave us something. And then obviously what Bruce and Junie did, you know, scoring and things. It was a total team effort.
It really was. That offensive aptitude that the Buckeyes showed yesterday is, to me, kind of the blueprint of how they have to play. Here's Jake on the offensive end.
Yeah, I think, but, you know, yes, all of that stuff plays a role. But I think, you know, for us at times when our offense becomes too isolate, you know, too one-on-one, and we stand, we get bogged down a little bit. So I thought today we did a great job creating some either long closeouts or wide open shots in those stretches. And we didn't make them all, but we made enough of them. And then we went to the offensive glass. That's another way you can help stop some runs. So again, we learned from the last game. We were better offensively in the second half than the first half of the Iowa game, but we learned from that. And I thought our guys came out here and did a good job sharing it, creating opportunities for others, which was important.
It's not lost on me, and my guess is anyone who coaches youth basketball, that Jake Diebler has the same problems coaching in the Big Ten as all of us have. Too much one-on-one, nobody moving, people standing around. Like every one of us, whether you're coaching travel or local or AAU, you're saying the same thing. Move, move, move. There's a propensity to just go to the one-on-one stuff. But the way they played it yesterday is the way they're going to have to play it if they're going to make noise in March. John Mobley Jr. was on with Robbie Hummel postgame, was asked about getting in. Here's what he had to say.
Ohio State going to the NCAA tournament now?
Got to, and we're going to make a run, too. Promise that.
Love the confidence. Love that moment. Love that moment. Where do you guys stand on the court storming?
It's fine. I didn't think anybody would have I mean, I guess that's a bad job out of me for not thinking people wouldn't have a problem with it, but
yeah,
it's a moment for Ohio State basketball fans that they haven't had in a while. A March victory over a top team with the idea that this might put Ohio State, into the NCAA tournament. This might be the game that does it. Like, holy bleep, it's finally happening. I think that was the culmination of it. I'm okay with it.
I think it's two things. I'm okay with it because as Ohio State basketball, you really haven't had anything to cheer since what? You beat number 2 Purdue 2 years ago.
But even
when
that
Jake Diebler
wasn't
was the interim coach. I think it's also an indictment of where this program is right now, unfortunately, that you are storming the court after a home win against number 8 Purdue that could save your season. Like, I think it's one of two. Like, I'm okay with it. I'm fine with it. It is what it is with the way they've been, but it's an indictment on where they've been.
I think that's fair. I didn't have a problem with it, and I was also I'm very similar to the way you described that, Bay. Kind of, okay, they deserve it. Have your moment. I'm happy for everybody. Go celebrate, live, all of those things. And also, like, wow, we're a long ways from this being the norm. And there's that part of it, too. But I never begrudge kids running out. There were people, this happened most recently in the Carolina-Duke game. There was all these issues with Carolina storming the court against Duke and Chapel Hill, and conversation about if Carolina should be doing that, one of the bluest bloods of the program. I think when you are a student at a place like that or a place like this, who is anyone to begrudge you? The only problem I have with the court storming is let's make sure we get people off the court in a safe manner, get the opposing team off the court. Like, there's no reason for them to have to wage a war with fans to get off the court. Like, I think Shire's right about that. But other than that, let kids live. Let them have moments. If that's something, if you were one of the kids who were on the court yesterday afternoon after that win, that's probably, you're going to talk about that for the rest of your life. Oh, yeah, I was down there. I remember we beat Purdue, and that was the win that put us in the NCAA tournament. You're going to have those conversations for the rest of your life. And so I don't begrudge anybody that. But at the same time, yeah, it probably does speak to a little bit to where the program has gotten. One of the model program builders in the Big Ten over the last 20 years is Matt Painter. They've been in the mix consistently. They've won consistently. They have a type. They win a certain way, but they win a lot. And they've been one of the most stable, better programs in the Big Ten for 25, 30 years now. Matt Painter was asked postgame about Bruce Thornton, had some glowing remarks.
He's what college basketball is all about. He could have ran. He could have transferred. He could have done all that stuff. He stayed. He competed. He has fought himself to be in this position. He has a lot of individual accolades, but I know the way he's wired. I know his high school coaches, and that's all they kept saying. It's like, this kid's the biggest winner. This kid's all about his team. He's all about Milton. He's all about Ohio State. He just wants to win. And, good for him. You know what I mean? Like, good for him to be the all-time leading scorer, but I know he'd trade that get in the NCAA tournament. I know that.
It hit me as I was driving around taking kids to AAU and lacrosse and all sorts of stuff yesterday afternoon. I was listening to Paul and Ronnie, who are just, what a treat to be able to have them on as you're driving around. And I was listening to them, and I guess I don't know how I hadn't thought about this, but that Bruce is a 4-time captain here at Ohio State. Now, some of that's longevity, right? Some of that, though, and I think this is the overwhelming some of that, he's a culture force of nature. And he was from the second he got here. He's kind of always been that. And I want this for him so badly. I want him to get into this thing. I want it for Jake. I want it for the program. I want it for all of you. I want it for the fans. I want all of it, because when you're involved in March, it's just different. It's just different. And you don't even have to make a long run. But if you're just there and you're at and I'm not talking about the Dayton play-in stuff, and they do a great job over there. This is not a shot at them. Please don't take it that way. But I'm not talking about playing games. I'm talking about in the tournament. I've covered the play-in games and I've covered the NCAA tournament. The play-in games are not the NCAA tournament. They're not the first round. They're play-in games. That's it. I'm talking about when you get to a site and the way that the NCAA, and for all of the issues I have with that organization, they put on a hell of a tournament. And they've got it down. And the way that they treat players, the way that they treat teams, guys, those open practices are awesome. They are awesome. When you are playing Kentucky and you are playing Kansas and you're playing a team like that, and those are the ones that are my points of reference because those are the ones I were at when Ohio State made a run. Those open practices, like that open practice, the Final Four, when it was Kentucky, Louisville, Kansas, and Ohio State, and there's tens of thousands of people watching teams practice. Now, that's the Final Four. That's the pinnacle. But even in the early rounds, those open practices, there's a magic to that, man. It's fun. It's cool. the courts, you see that March Madness, you see that bracket, to be a part of it. There is something that's magical about it, and I want it for Mobley in the worst way. And I want it for all of you and the fans and Jake and everybody. Do I think that making the tournament and being one and done is going to change anything in terms of the direction of the program? No, I don't. Hell, do the other side of it. Do you think if Ohio State gets to the Sweet 16 or Elite 8, it's going to do anything for the program? No, maybe not. Because this is a year-to-year basis. It's this year on to next year, right? And next year's team is going to be very different than this year's team in a lot of ways. So it's more year-to-year than it's ever been. But there is something magical about being a part of it, and there are 2 wins, I think, from doing it. 2 wins they'll both be favored in, but I do think they need them both. I don't think they can lose to Penn State or Indiana.
It helped that Indiana's on a tailspin. USC just lost their best player, and so if you're competing for that last Big Ten spot in the tournament. Good things have happened to Ohio State, but also Ohio State's taken advantage of a game you needed. And then you've got 2 that just handle your business, I think, is the message for Ohio State for their final 2. Right now, CBS Sports has the Buckeyes the 10 seed in the Midwest region. Their first-round matchup is against Villanova. In the Midwest region right now, that's Michigan's the 1 seed there. You've got Miami, Ohio State, and Wright State all in the same bracket.
What do they seed Miami?
Miami is a 12 seed.
Isn't that something? They're a 12 seed, and they're
Did you hear
ranked
Bruce
23rd
Pearl?
in the country? I did. Yeah, we're going to get to that a little later. I did hear him.
But real quick, somebody in the chat asked if Bruce Thornton would get his number retired. And Ohio State has a rule on that, right? That you have to be National Player of the Year.
I think that's why D-Hops isn't.
Yeah, because I think you have Gary Brads, John Havlicek, Jerry Lucas, Jimmy Jackson, and Evan Turner, and that's it.
Well, Lucas and Havlicek are retired.
That's what I said, those 2.
Oh, you said both of those.
Both those
okay, yeah. Okay, yeah. Lucas, Havlicek, Brads, John, Jimmy,
and
is
Evan.
Clark's?
No.
His isn't. Okay.
I believe
D-Hops isn't.
And I don't know what the requirement was back when Havlicek and Lucas, but I think it's National Player of the Year now. So Bruce is not going to get his number retired, but that's just because Ohio State has the rules that they do for that.
Yeah, and I think that's the right one. I'm sure
I agree.
I think that's probably right, but I do think there should be. I kind of feel this way, like the football thing is if you don't win the Heisman, you shouldn't have your number can't be retired now. And I think that's kind of like Orlando Pace's number should be at the shoe.
Yeah, probably.
I mean, that number, most people will say he's the best player to ever play here. He should 75 should be up.
No offense, Carson Hensman.
Right. 75 should probably be in the shoe. I mean, he's a gold jacket, all those things. And I kind of feel that way about Sullinger. Like Jared Sullinger, 2 years, number 1 team, both years, Final Four, 2-time consensus first-team All-American. How many Buckeye players are 2-time consensus first-team All-Americans? There aren't many. I kind of feel that way. I think that there should be a little bit of wiggle room. I'm not saying don't let anybody ever wear the number again, but put it in the rafters. Get that thing up there. I think the more of that, the better. I think retired numbers are different. Like no one can ever wear this number again, but honoring a number, I think, is something that you should open it up a little bit too, because there are some great ones, and all that does is inspire the next generation. That we were hoping the Jackets would come out inspired after the Olympic break. They've played really good hockey, just have not gotten the results, and now find themselves in a bit of a hole in short order. We will get to that coming up next. Bishop and Friends, right here on The Fan.
If you consider yourself a Buckeye fan, you've come to the right place. This is your heritage sports talker and home of Ohio State athletics, The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. Tired of snoring? Dr. Mark Levy can help with a custom mouthpiece that opens your airway and stops the snoring. No mask, no noise. Call 1-800-MORE-SLEEP or visit sleepbettercolumbus.com today. Stop snoring. Sleep better. Live better.
I'm Leslie from Pella Columbus.
And I'm Wilson from that other window place.
Wilson, one thing our Pella Columbus team is really serious about is to not be salesy or pushy. We're just here to listen and hopefully make your dream a reality.
Oh, I had a dream last night where I went back in time to a dinosaur's birthday party and had to fight a triceratops for the last cupcake.
I meant more like home makeover type of dreams.
Oh, okay. I just got the dinosaur thing.
Get the windows that can completely change the look and feel of your home at PellaColumbus.com.
Breathe. Breathe. You got this. You got this.
In the moments that truly matter, what do? Rise to the occasion. Ohio Health. It's time.
Remember the old days when football used to have an off-season? Well, we at the Fan think that really sucked. That's why we bring you Austin and Berm, America's #1 resource for Buckeye football conversation, is voted by Fake Surveys Incorporated. Catch their daily podcast called The Beat and their breaking news podcast, Snap Judgments, as they broadcast live from Roosters on Mondays, and they come right to your house and massage your tender areas. They'll do it all. Austin and Berm on the Fan's YouTube channel and 10 TV Plus.
Thinking about buying your first home? Now, with Third Federal, you can buy your first home and pay no PMI. Hi, I'm Mark Stefanski, Chairman and CEO of Third Federal. Private mortgage insurance, or PMI, can cost thousands of dollars over the life of your loan. And you may not realize PMI doesn't protect you. It only protects the lender in case of default. But at Third Federal, you can buy a home with just 5% down and no PMI. Plus, first-time home buyers get $750 off of closing costs. So if you're thinking about buying your first home, go for it and visit thirdfederal.com.
Even before you find a home, lock in 5.79% APR 5.81% on a 30-year fixed-rate purchase mortgage. Visit thirdfederal.com or call 1-800-3rd-FED today. APR reflects 15% down for $350,000 loan amount. Rate requires automatic payment program and is subject to change. Restrictions apply. See conditions for closing cost coupon at thirdfederal.com/FTHB. Equal housing lender.
In the old days when people lived to be 40, you only had one option for listening to your favorite show. But now, ooh, baby, radio, podcast, the Fan app, and YouTube, just to name a few, live or on demand. You have no excuses. The Fan.
Hey, it's T-Bone again. Listen up. Sleep apnea doesn't have to rule your nights. Dr. Mark Levy's been treating snoring and sleep apnea for over 15 years with proven results. And now he has an office in Marysville. Call 1-800-MORE-SLEEP or go to sleepbettercolumbus.com. Stop snoring, sleep better, live better.
Thinking about buying your first home? Now, with Third Federal, you can buy your first home and pay no PMI. Hi, I'm Mark Stefanski, Chairman and CEO of Third Federal. Private mortgage insurance, or PMI, can cost thousands of dollars over the life of your loan. And you may not realize PMI doesn't protect you. It only protects the lender in case of default. But at Third Federal, you can buy a home with just 5% down and no PMI. Plus, first-time home buyers get $750 off of closing costs. So if you're thinking about buying your first home, go for it and visit thirdfederal.com.
Even before you find a home, lock in 5.79% APR 5.81% on a 30-year fixed-rate purchase mortgage. Visit thirdfederal.com or call 1-800-3rd-FED today. APR reflects 15% down for $350,000 loan amount. Rate requires automatic payment program and is subject to change. Restrictions apply. See conditions for closing cost coupon at thirdfederal.com/FTHB. Equal housing lender.
Want to know anything about the Fans contest, how to win, or what's up for grabs? Check out 971thefan.com. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
They'll offer betting advice, but don't bet on it being good. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
Bake, you went, didn't you? Saturday night. Reese, did you go?
I was there.
You did not. You did, though, Bake.
Yeah,
How
I was
was
there.
it? How'd they do?
It was awesome. Yeah, it was really cool. And I did not, shame on me, I did not go down to look at the jersey and the medal. I just figured the lines were going to be ridiculously long. And I just didn't want to deal with that. But they gave away, and I thought they were like Zach Werenski, like towels, but they were just basically Blue Jackets towels, said fight for glory. There were a couple times in the night where the whole place was waving them, and it looked awesome. But very cool, the tribute to Z at the beginning. Also awesome that they included the New York Islanders players that were at the Olympics in that, too. A+, but you knew with that organization, that's the way it would be.
Yeah, they just do all of the little things right. So I'm not surprised. Some of the big things is where the struggles have been over the years. But the little things they do right. They just have some of the best people working there. And you get out quickly, and it's 1-0. And you say, okay, let's see if we can go. You end up losing to the Islanders 4-3 in overtime, and the Islanders, by the way, won yesterday as well. Remember, guys, because of the Olympic break, these are ultra compact schedules. Ultra. Jackets play tonight, and then don't they play tomorrow too?
They do. They play tomorrow and then Thursday. So they still have three games before the trade deadline Friday.
3 games before the deadline. As it stands right now, because of the 2 losses coming out of the break now, losing, and by the way, these were critical because Boston's ahead of you in the wild card, and obviously the Islanders are ahead of you in the Metropolitan. The Jackets now find themselves 9 points back of New York in the division. Now, the good news to that, and it's a pretty good caveat, you've played 58 games, they've played 61. So you've got 3 games in hand to make some of that up. The wild card situation is a little more troubling in that Boston is currently in the second wild card spot with 71 points. You just have a game in hand on them, and you are 5 points back, and the Capitals are between you and them. So the path for that gets a little bit tricky, and you just can't keep... They got a lot of games to play. Talking about 34 games left, 24 games left. But the reality is you cannot go into a funk right now. If 2 losses turns into 6 in a row, you could find yourself buried. And that's unfortunately how quickly this could go for them. So wins are going to have to come on a pretty big the wins are going to have to match. You lose 2 in a row, you got to win 2 in a row. That's the way this needs to be in the interim starting tonight. In terms of the way that they came out of the break, Rick Bowness had some thoughts on some of the puck luck that didn't go their way.
That is, you look at the last 2 games, Boston's first goal goes in off of us. The third goal tonight, so you're in these tight checking 1-goal games, and they're going in off of us. That being said, when we had them down 2-0, we had so many chances to make it 3-0, and so Orkin just came up big, which was the same thing as in Boston, right? So you just got to fight through these things, and it's disappointing, but when you get a chance to make that 3-0, and we had enough chances to do that, that eventually will bite you.
So here's the week ahead. At Rangers tonight, Shelley time at 11:30. Nashville here Tuesday. Florida here Thursday. Utah here Saturday. That's 4 games between now and Saturday for this operation. 4. And that's what it's going to be. Because there's not. And to Bake's point, the trade deadline is Friday.
Bo, his point to the bounces, I don't know what's going on in New York. I don't know who they sold their soul to. But so their first goal, somebody shoots the puck super high. Anders Lee, who's like 6'4", and a whole massive confusion, sees it, reaches up, knocks the puck down. Nobody knows where it is. He spins and knocks it in the goal. Then their next goal, I don't know how it's not goaltender interference. And maybe it's not a penalty, but it's at least incidental contact with Jet because Peugeot pushes the defenseman into Jet, and his right skate hits Jet's pad and completely spins Jet. I don't know how that goal's allowed. Somebody at the NHL needs to tell me how that goal is allowed. And obviously they don't need to tell me. Hopefully they told the Blue Jackets. Yeah. And then their third goal is literally the defenseman is just trying to shoot it into the boards behind the net. It's 3 feet wide, minimum 3 feet wide of the net. It hits Zach, bounces off Marchenko in front, and goes into the net. Yesterday they're playing Florida, and they're down 2-0.
You're talking about the Islanders,
The
right?
Islanders are playing Florida.
Yeah, yep.
They have a shot from the point that goes off of 3 different people, goes in the air, comes down on the goalpost behind Bob, hits Bob in the back, and goes in the net. Like, who are they selling their soul to?
Yeah.
It is insane. I don't know what the Islanders are doing.
Yeah. They're winning. So for the Blue Jackets, you got to turn that around. I was ready to come on here and say, ignore Adam Fantilli getting baited in that 3-on-3 overtime, because honestly, you take 4 players off the ice. Now hockey's not hockey anymore. There's a reason overtime and shootouts are in play. It's all TV-driven, end game. So there's a reason why it's not the Stanley Cup final or the playoffs. Like, we've got to get rid of 3-on-3 hockey. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
I think that was just a bad change by Fantilli, quite frankly.
It was a great play by the Islanders.
Both here is where I am with this team right now. And I know what getting in the playoffs would do for this fan base and all of that. If you're not going to go out, and I know this is easier said than done, And there's obviously a lot of consternation with your second line right now. Kent Johnson is scratched the other night. Looks like he's going to be scratched tonight. I think on Friday I told us how to fix that.
Yeah.
But if you do not go out, and I don't know how many of them are available, the guy I'm thinking of is Vancouver's Brock Besser. But if you do not go out and get a proven 30-goal scorer at this trade deadline, you need to make some moves that are going to tick the fan base off, and you need to get rid of some guys that aren't signed. And you can bring them back if you want to in the offseason.
Yeah.
But the guys I'm talking about in Coyle and Jenner and Marchment will bring you a lot of assets to this team.
Yeah.
Teams where you can go get another bona fide second line 30-goal scorer type player, whether that's trades, free agency, draft picks, however you do it. So to me, if you're not going to go add that piece that could help you contend for the Stanley Cup, I'm getting rid of those guys at the deadline.
Yeah, I don't think you can make emotional decisions because it's easy to. It's easy to make, and I don't think they will. I think that they will. I think that it's likely that they will do a lot of what you're suggesting.
And I'm all for bringing them back.
If this week doesn't go well, yeah, for sure, yeah. But this is a massive week. You think about 3 games before the deadline. This is what, as fans, what you would always hope for. You want games that matter this time of year for the two entities that this is the stage is set for them, and you're going to have it. They're in the similar spot, chasing the 8 for the Blue Jackets, chasing the NCAA tournament for the Buckeyes. We'll see if either one can accomplish their goal over the next couple of weeks. NFL Combine is in the books. A couple of winners and losers. We'll get into that coming up next. Second hour, Bishop and Friends, right here on The Fan.
If the sound of another man slammed against plexiglass turns you on, you've come to the right place. Proud to be your home for Jackets hockey. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Say goodbye to car care headaches with Carvenience from Hinderer Motor Company. This is Justin Hinderer. For only $49, we'll pick up your vehicle, leave you with a rental, and return it fully serviced and spotless. No more juggling your schedule or wasting hours at the shop. Carvenience lets you focus on what matters while we take care of all the rest, making life easier. Schedule your service today at HindererMotorCompany.com.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. If your garage floor has stains, cracks, or even the dreaded bad epoxy job, maybe one you tried to do yourself, maybe one you paid for and it didn't work out, it can make your entire garage look bad. Let's be honest about it. And maybe those botched garage floor coatings that you've had in the past have put you off of ever getting it fixed. Well, my friends, let me tell you, the people at Comer and Cross Concrete Floor Coatings want you to know there is a fix out there. They can make your garage floor gleaming, glistening, look like a new car showroom. You call Comer and Cross at 1-800-NEW-FLOOR, and they will come out with their pros, no subcontractors, and install a gleaming new Comer and Cross garage floor in just 1 day. Yeah, this floor is guaranteed to never chip, crack, or even show tire lift like epoxy or paint can. Never going to have that problem with Comer and Cross. Call them today, 1-800-NEW-FLOOR. It's that easy. 1-800-NEW-FLOOR, or you go to comercross.com. That's C-O-M-E-R cross.com. Get a new garage floor with Comer and Cross Concrete Floor Coatings today.
Hey, folks, winter is here. The number one cost for everyone each month are those pesky heating bills that never stop increasing. It is time to take action and do something about it. Call USA Insulation today and get your home insulated with our premium foam for only $99 a month. Interest-free. That's right, $99 a month. You can have a warm, cozy home that you and your family deserves. 529-2440, 529-2440, or USAinsulation.net.
USA Insulation.
With Aetna, I always get a quick answer, and I don't have to search on the internet. They go above and beyond to help me with whatever I need.
Those words from a real Aetna Medicare Advantage member speak to why U.S. News & World Report named us a best Medicare Advantage company. Because we show up on calls with members and doctor's offices when requested. We show up with access to convenient care options. We show up for you. Because that's how healthier happens together. Member feedback has been edited for length and clarity.
Your mornings are jam-packed. So if you're going to add anything, make it your favorite bite from Tim Hortons. Buy any size beverage and add a daily baked donut for $1, a tasty bagel for $2, or a freshly cracked hot breakfast sandwich for just $3. It's the best way to add more to your morning. The 1, 2, 3 menu, only at your neighborhood Tim Hortons. At participating U.S. restaurants, must ask for offer in restaurant. Tax extra. Exclusions and terms apply at timhortons.com/offer-terms.
Do you suffer from leg pain, leg swelling, varicose veins, or leg ulcers? Dr. Joseph Senta and Dr. Barry Zeta at Ohio Vein and Vascular Polaris, and now at their second location in Reynoldsburg, are pioneers in the vein and vascular field. They can perform minimally invasive procedures that will get you back on track to a pain-free life. Stop living with leg pain and start the process to healthy living with a free healthy leg screening. Go to loveyourveins.com or call 614-426-VEIN. That's 614-426-VEIN or loveyourveins.com.
Get Eco.
Hey, Aaron, what are those? Those are what are known as toilets, Jerry. Ha ha ha. I know they're toilets, but why are they sitting back to back like bookends? Congratulations, Jerry. You said the magic word.
Get Eco.
Bookends? Bookends is the magic word? Take a seat, Jerry. I choose this one. A good choice. That is the world's most luxurious toilet. Really? How much is it? $6,500, including installation. What? For $6,500, this thing would have to iron my shirts, shine my shoes, and sing happy birthday to me.
Get Eco.
It does way more than that, Jerry. I'm switching to the other one. How much is this one? $650, including installation. Wow, that's a great deal. What does it do? It does exactly what you would expect, Jerry. Huh. From $650 to $6,500. Eco has a toilet for everyone. Give it away, plumbers, genius electricians, and you can always trust our HVAC technicians. GetEco.com.
I love Right Pack Credit Union because they're solution driven. I feel valued as a member.
They're focused on the latest technology and the personal connections.
Experience benefits that go beyond banking with Right Pack Credit Union. Just ask our actual members.
I definitely recommend Right Pack to all my family and friends as a credit union of choice.
Visit one of our Columbus area Right Pack Credit Union member centers near you. Based on individual members' experiences, results may vary.
Broadcasting live from the McDaniel GM Superstore Studios. Driving excellence since 1916. Chevrolet. Together, let's drive. WBNS HD1 Columbus.
Good morning. I'm Eric Reeser. NFL's free agency begins next week. The franchise tag is due tomorrow. Earlier this morning, the Browns acquired right tackle Titus Howard from the Texans in exchange for a fifth-round pick. The 29-year-old Howard has started 16 games each of the last 2 seasons for Houston. Howard also agreed to a 3-year, $63 million contract extension with Cleveland. In college hoops, Ohio State upset number 8 Purdue 82-74 yesterday at the Shot. Buckeyes are 10-8 in Big Ten play. They'll play at Penn State on Wednesday. Hear from Ohio State's head coach today at noon on the Jake Diebler radio show. The 13th-ranked Ohio State women's squad won at number 15 Michigan State Sunday. Buckeyes have a bye in the Big Ten tournament that starts Wednesday at Gainbridge Fieldhouse in Indianapolis. This update is sponsored by Metal Supermarkets, your convenience store for metal. Visit Columbus at metalsupermarkets.com or 2180 Wilson Road for all your metal needs. Breaking sports news when it happens on The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
We'll read your emails on the air, but we won't tell you where to send them. Hey, we're not doing all the work for you. This is Bishop and Friends.
Get to the NFL Scouting Combine and some of the winners and losers in that from just a second. This from Snagglepuss. Would you rather have Ohio State basketball make the tournament and guarantee a Sweet 16, or the Blue Jackets make the playoffs and guaranteed to reach conference finals? I think it's the latter for me. Now, if conference finals, I mean, that's playing for a shot to go to the Cup, to go play for Lord Stanley. And for us, I'm selfish, from a content standpoint, that's a month. That's a month of content, maybe more if they make a run all the way to like the Eastern Conference Finals. I think if it were guaranteed to make the Final Four or a Blue Jacket run to the conference finals, then I think you're really going to get to the heart of it all. I know where you're going to go on this, Bake. Where are you, Reese?
Yeah, the guaranteed spot in the Eastern Conference Finals.
Yeah.
I mean, just the idea that you're playing for an actual champion, like playing for Lord Stanley's Cup, is kind of unfathomable here.
Your 4 wins, if you got to the conference finals, you're 4 wins from playing for Lord Stanley. And I can't even, guys, we look back on the sweep of Tampa Bay and remember it like it was yesterday.
That's the pinnacle of the franchise.
Yes, I would argue that the split, didn't they split those 2 games in Boston?
Yes.
In the next round?
And then they ended up losing 1-1. In 6.
Yeah, they came back 1-1, and maybe even, did they win game 3? I remember this vividly. I remember Threes and I, in the Boston series, saying they can win the Cup. Because of the way that they had played in Tampa, they had beaten the number 1 seed, and then they were going toe-to-toe with the Bruins, and they had the physicality, Bob and net. And I remember Threes and I doing a show after one of the wins against Boston saying they have enough to win the Cup.
So they did. They were up 2-1. They lost in overtime in Boston in Game 1. Then they won in overtime in Game 2. Then they won Game 3 and lost 3 straight at the end.
Yeah. Yeah. So when they won Game 3, I remember the day after that, Threes and I doing the show and saying they can win the Cup. And that moment of hope and joy, just imagine if you got that for 1 round, 2 round, and now you're into the final. Like this city the fever pitch. I mean, you couldn't even, it's all anyone would be talking about, and it lasts so much longer. The basketball thing is over pretty quickly. Even if you get to the Sweet 16, and I mentioned this off the top of the show, that Ohio State team that was the number 1 overall seed that lost in the Sweet 16 to Kentucky, all of a sudden Brandon Knight hits a shot in the lane, and William Buford misses a shot that would have won it, and it's so sudden. It's over. It's over. And you're like, whoa. And then the tournament, the crazy thing about the tournament is there is a game that starts 25 minutes after your game goes final. So you're licking your wounds. You're back there doing postgame. You got guys in tears and all of this. You come out after it's all done, and you go back out to the court in Newark, New Jersey, and I can't remember who they were playing, but Carolina was playing. Like, the tournament moves on. You're bounced, and it moves on. It's so sudden when you lose. So, like, now, if it's a Final Four, that's a little different. If you got all the way to a Final Four, that one hits a little bit different. But I think this city, when the Blue Jackets reach a conference final, if they ever play for Lord Stanley, I don't know that you'd seen anything like it because of the sustained march of it all. And then you factor in also it's spring. I mean, just think of the area. Just think of the Arena District, what that would be like if you're in an Eastern Conference final here, like a Game 3 here. Pandemonium. So, yeah, I just think that the hockey thing the hockey thing to the conference final would just have such juice to it. Really would. Go ahead, Reese.
I was just going to say real quick, that's such a hard question for me, and I mean, even though it isn't, but like that's the team of my youth against the team of my present.
Yeah.
Like, what are we doing here, Snagglepuss? You're ripping
coming.
at all kinds of heartstrings on me.
We got snow. He should be down on 30A living his best life away from all of this, and now he's snowed and roads and all the other things. The NFL Combine is in the books. It is done. I'll tell you what, whatever the Styles folks did, Mom and Pop, you want to talk about athletic specimens. We talked on Monday about Sonny and what he did on Thursday, and we're going to get some mock drafts that tell you how beneficial that was. Then Lorenzo goes out there and runs 4.27, second fastest time at the Combine. He went for that speed will get him drafted. I didn't know if he was going to be, but you run 4.27, and the NFL is going to take a look at that. I was actually watching the Combine when they interviewed Mrs. Styles, and she gave a great answer. She goes, "That's all my husband. He would put little parachutes on them when they were kids, and they would think that they were playing, and he would trick them into speed training."
It's good coaching.
Which I thought was amazing. I don't know why I haven't thought of that.
Hell of a job out of him.
Little parachutes. I could just see the two of them running in the backyard with parachutes. It's incredible. Incredible stuff. In terms of what changed out of it, you're not going to really know until you get to the Combine. You're just not. You're not going to, or not until you get to the draft. You got to get through free agency. Then you get to the draft. Then you kind of know where all of this stands. But I see a first round mock draft from PFF coming out of the Combine, and you see the results, some of the results that happened there impacting where guys are taken. And speaking of Sonny Styles, his impact on this has been pretty tremendous. So their most recent mock has Fernando Mendoza staying at number 1 overall. It has Arvell Reese number 2 to the Jets. That kind of tracks based on what they did last week at the defensive end position. Francis Mayoga going to the Miami tackle, going to the Cardinals at 3. Sonny Styles number 4 overall as an off-ball linebacker. I would just call him a weapon and figure out where it's going to be. Carnell Tate, who ran 4.57, we'll get to that in a second. He is 5th still to the Giants. So then it has the Browns taking Monroe Freeling, the tackle out of Georgia. I don't know if this was done before, because the Browns acquired a tackle today, and then they signed him to an extension at $21 million, the tackle from Houston, just for a 5th-round pick. That's the thing that the Browns owners are willing to do. Give up a 5 that they got for Kenny Pickett and bring in a player with supreme talent who's been injured for sure, but with supreme talent that they never would have gotten in a pick like that, and then pay him. That's the type of stuff that the Haslams do. Like they allow their front office to do those type of things.
Did you see the history of this trade here that they went through earlier?
No, go ahead.
So in November of 2020, this is from Albert Breer. In November of 2024, the Browns traded Zadarius Smith and a 7th to the Lions for 5th and 6th round picks. Okay. March of 25, the Browns take that 5th round pick, send it with Dorian Thompson-Robinson to the Eagles for Kenny Pickett. Sure. August 2025, the Browns trade Pickett to the Raiders for a 2026 5th round pick, and that pick is now Titus Howard.
That's the path that it goes to. So I don't know if that would, I mean, he's going to be a right tackle. That to me, what that tells me is they are not going to count on DeJuan Jones. I think that they are hoping like hope that DeJuan Jones, because when he's healthy, he looks great. I see him. He's dropped pounds. He looks really good. But I think what that trade tells, because he's going to be a right tackle, so they still need a left. DeJuan's a natural right, so they still need a left. What does that look like? I don't know that has. My hunch is that would impact what they do at 6. And I heard Tyvus this morning talking about, well, the Browns are going to try to trade out of 6. We got to have a dance partner for that. So the 2 players that would potentially be, we got to have them, are the 2 guys that coming out of the combine most people thought were among the 3 safest picks, and that's Jeremiah Love and Caleb Downs. In this PFF mock, they have Jeremiah Love going 8 overall to the Saints, and they have Caleb Downs, buckle up Bengal fans, going 10 to Cincinnati. Speaking of the Browns, according to this mock draft, they have Jordan Tyson falling to hit them at 24, which I'm sure they would be thrilled with. The only thing with him was the medicals. Everything else checked out pretty well there. Also, Denzel Boston's still on the board, the kid out of Washington. So all of those would theoretically be fits for the Browns at 24. That's what the combine does, though. It has a little bit of movement, and the biggest movement right now is Sonny Styles. In terms of the Buckeyes that won and lost, we will get to that. Does Carnell Tate running 4.57 change the way the NFL views him? According to the PFF mock, it shouldn't, and I think they're right. We'll get to that coming up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
Head to 971thefan.com to listen on demand and subscribe to all our podcasts. Wasting time has never been easier. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
This is Gordon Miller from Miller Lending, the original home of the no closing cost mortgage. With interest rates at their lowest level in 4 years, what's stopping you from taking advantage? Maybe it's the thousands of dollars in closing cost? Well, what if I told you that those costs aren't required and that you decide whether to sacrifice $15,000 to $20,000 of equity at closing or zero? At Miller Lending, we're all about zero and have been offering no-cost loans since 1987. With no title closing or origination fees, imagine having the freedom to refinance any time a lower rate becomes available or a need arises. Even 0.5% lower in rate results in savings of over $100,000 over the life of your loan. So why wait? No-cost loans are real and here to stay. Simply call Miller Lending and see why thousands of satisfied clients have made that choice to say goodbye to closing costs forever. 877-9-NO-COST. That's 877-9-NO-COST. Or simply apply online at nocostmortgage.com. Miller Lending is an equal housing lender and MLS number 250-2146.
Welcome to Tire Discounters. Oh, hiya, Phantom.
Mike, you may be in big trouble with Chip Wood.
Our owner?
Free oil changes along with alignment?
On any 4-tire purchase.
And Goodyear's up to $160 off?
Yeah.
Sorry, Mike, but I'm telling.
But the Wood family is behind all this.
Oh, those rascals.
But don't tell the accountants.
Of course not. And what do they do again? Buy any set of 4 tires at Tire Discounters and get a free alignment and oil change. Make them Goodyear's and save up to $160 more. See store for details.
College is great. You know what else is great? Pizza, which you can buy with your Huntington Bank debit card with the Ohio State University logo. Huntington Bank is proud to be the official consumer bank of the Ohio State University. Let's get more from money. Switch to Huntington Bank. Welcome.
Remember what sunshine feels like? Windows open, birds chirping, everything looking fresh and new? Spring is closer than you think, and so are those home projects on your to-do list. Maybe winter left its mark, a small leak that's getting bigger, shingles that didn't survive the snowstorms, or siding that's clearly seen better days. Whatever your home is facing, our team of professionals at Newman Roofing are here to help. For more than 34 years, Newman Roofing has been helping homeowners protect what matters most. From your first phone call, you'll notice the difference. Passionate and committed people who care about doing the job right. And with over 1,000 five-star Google reviews, you don't have to take our word for it. If your roof, siding, or gutters need attention, call the family company you can trust, Newman Roofing. Call Newman Roofing today at 614-NEW-ROOF or visit online at newmanroofing.com. Don't just get a new roof this spring, get a Newman roof.
Join Rothman and Ice every Thursday at 2:30 for Gold Jacket Thursday.
Presented by the Pro Football Hall of Fame.
A new Hall of Famer joins the show every week, but not OJ because he's dead and probably a murderer. The Fan.
For the past 100 years, Shriners Children's has become family to over 1.5 million kids.
In tough times and good times, they're there when we need them most.
Please go online right now to loveshriners.org.
Springtime is here, and you know what that means. It's time for Mulch Madness. Did you know that too much mulch is bad for trees and shrubs? 2 inches of mulch is plenty. Any more and you risk causing roots to grow up and around trunks, which increases unhealthy stress, shortens tree life, and even keeps moisture from getting down to tree roots. To find out more about Mulch Madness or to find a certified arborist near you, visit treesforohio.org. That's trees, the number 4, ohio.org.
When we make time to read with kids, children get the message that reading is important and fun. When we read books that have characters of all races, backgrounds, genders, and abilities, students can discover their own voices and learn from the voices of others. I'm Ohio Education Association President Jeff Wensing. As we take part in Read Across America celebrations this week and all year round, please join the OEA in celebrating our nation of diverse readers so we can set up all Ohio students for success.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
We'll turn into mostly sunny skies this afternoon, and daytime highs will struggle to get into the upper 30s. For tonight, rain develops overnight with patchy fog, and then for Tuesday, expect rainy day ahead with patchy fog in the morning and daytime highs eventually getting in the mid to upper 50s. For The Fan, I'm meteorologist Meredith Garfalo with the 10 Weather Impact Forecast.
Bobby Carpenter demands that you watch Morning Juice on YouTube. If you don't, Tito will move into your house.
Live at 6 a.m. on YouTube and streaming on the Fan app.
Find us on YouTube. Search WBNS Radio and you can see what Bo looks like. But only if you subscribe. This is Bishop and Friends.
Indeed it is, and we are proudly sponsored and brought to you by our great friends at Diamond Seller, your true jeweler for nearly 80 years. All right, Combine has come and gone. There are winners, there are losers. Sonny Styles, both Styles boys, honestly, big winners in this one. There's some other guys who won as well. The Sadiq kid from Oregon. I mean, I didn't think anybody would be able to athletically, just physically be as impressive or maybe even more so than Sonny, and then he was. He ended up being even more so. That's one of those things that you could see a big rise out of him. Carnell Tate just ran the 40. That was about it. He did the meetings, he did the medical, and he ran the 40 over there. My hunch is Carnell Tate thought he was going to run 4.4. Most of the scouts I talked to over there, I remember Daniel Jeremiah saying this specifically, like the feeling around the league was that Carnell would run 4.4. He ran 4.54 and 4.53 in the 2 runs. Of course, Adam Schefter was quick on social, so obviously an agent or somebody in the NFL got to Adam on this, and this we help because we love Carnell Tate. Ohio State, he tweeted yesterday, Ohio State receiver Carnell Tate, a potential top 10 pick, was timed by several NFL executives and GMs on Saturday with a 40 time in the 4.45, 4.47 range. Although the Combine registers official times, teams always conduct their own timing. Those measures with some teams were lower than his 4.52. So that's part of it. I also don't think 4.52 is a problem much at all, quite honestly. It never showed up on the field. I'm not sure what Jackson Smith and Jigba ran at the combine. I'm not sure what Puka Nacua ran in the combine, but those two guys were 1A and 1B for Offensive Player of the Year, and they're just fine.
It's funny you just mentioned JSN because as you were talking about Carnell, I was pulling his up.
What did he do?
And it said at his Ohio State Pro Day in March of 2023, he ran from 4.48 to 4.53.
Okay. So, yeah, it's not something that shows up on film. It just doesn't. And the film is going to weigh the day. I think if you run a blazing fast 40, the way Lorenzo did, you can go from maybe undrafted to potentially drafted. I don't think this is going to impact Carnell Tate at all. He was the consensus number one wide receiver over there with everybody I talked to. The only one person had him 2. I can't remember who it was. Somebody had him number 2 behind Jordan Tyson, but he was number 1 on everybody else's board. It doesn't show up on film at all. He catches everything thrown his way, and he runs great routes. So I don't think it's going to affect him in any way in regard to the draft. I still think he's going to be the first receiver off the board.
Like it might have helped Makai Lemon after his weird interview. If he goes out and runs maybe a 4.4, 4.5 40, he neglected to do that. But
did you see the reporting on him, Reese? Speaking of him, did you see the reporting on him this morning that he was weird in his team interviews as well?
I did not. I imagine.
Have you seen it? Like his podium?
I'll post the podium interview at 971 BFS, but he's like, if you can see on the YouTube, he's kind of just moving like a snake, asking a question.
His eyes are kind of looking down. I don't know who taught him that or why. It's a choice. And apparently he took that into the meetings.
Well, like if that's who he is, then I guess there's consistency there.
Yeah.
So it does go to this is the biggest waste of time in my opinion, because I think you just watch the tape on a lot of these guys, and Makai Lemon's tape at USC was great. I think this would, maybe halt an NFL team from drafting him in the first round if he's just a really weird guy and you're like, we don't need, or there's Denzel Boston available for us. But with a 40 time, with odd interviews, I just think the tape trumps it all. It should, and it should.
It will, and he's not going to go out of the first round because the thing that we always do, pain in the neck versus talent. Like there's not enough evidence.
He skews talent.
He does. The talent is more than the pain in the neck, and I don't know if he's a pain in the neck or not, or just had weird interviews or got weird advice on how to conduct himself.
Could just be a weird dude.
Maybe. I don't know him. I don't. Yeah, we don't cover USC, so I don't know him well enough to know that or not. But he definitely made a choice with the way he presented himself publicly at the combine.
When you were describing that, Bo, I was thinking of that video. I don't know. It might even be 10 years ago now. That guy saying, "I'm a snake." And he had like that snake hat on, and I'm a sneaky snake. Yeah, like that's what I could think of when you were describing that. They did a side-by-side or a comparison of Sonny and Lorenzo's.
Yeah.
And Lorenzo ran a 4.26, and Sonny ran a 4.46. It was literally one step.
Yeah.
Lorenzo crossed the line one step ahead of Sonny Styles. We just talked about JSN. He sure didn't seem to have any problem in the NFC championship game in the Super Bowl separating from any of the defenders. So I remember John Ross. He was really fast. That didn't mean he was good at football.
Yeah.
So Carnell Tate is going to be just fine.
Yes, he is. And Ohio State's going to be just fine. There's going to be 5 of them taken in the first round. There's going to be 4 in the top 10. The PFF mock has it that way. They have Caleb at 10 to the Bengals, Carnell 5, Sonny 4, and Arvell 2, and then Caden McDonald going to the Bears at 25. So what the Combine does, number one, it gives universal medicals. That's the most important thing to teams is, are they healthy? So there will be reporting at some point this week on Jordan Tyson. Is he healthy? Are the injuries a big problem? Is there a red flag on his medicals? If so, he could drop in the draft, even though he is certainly a first-round talent. And according to PFF, they have him dropping to 24 overall, the wide receiver out of Arizona State. So the number one thing is the medicals. The number two thing is the Combine is an incredibly stressful time for these guys. Incredibly stressful. Because you're viewed as a commodity. and you go from one thing to the next. So if you're one of these guys who did all of it over there, and you lifted, and you did the 3-cone, and you did the broad jump, and you did the vert, and you ran a 40, and then you ran routes, or you did the drill that Arvell Reese does, where you turn the corner and go pursue an offensive player. If you're one of the guys who did all of those things, now imagine when that's over, if every 30 minutes you're meeting with a different NFL team until sometimes 11:30 at night. So I was talking to Andrew Berry about this last week when I was over there, and I said, how do you gauge an interview with somebody who, if on the odd chance you're his 14th interview of the day, after he did all of this physical training, did media. I mean, the media sessions over there, guys, started 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock in the morning. The media session started for these players. So you're talking about probably up at 6, media session, workout, and then for some of these guys, 15 team interviews a night, 10 a night. By the time you get one of them at 11 o'clock, do you even hold them accountable for what they said? And he goes, no, we have grace for that. Like, we give them quite a bit of grace on what their aptitude is by the time we get them. But he also did add that it's a pretty good stress test. What can you handle? Because they're looking for that. What can we put on you? What can you handle? And the guys that ace it, they definitely they get a massive benefit of the doubt. And there is a big metric that's to that. And so, yes, some of this is utter nonsense. At the top of the board, it doesn't really change much. Sonny, I think, is going to have a chance to now maybe be for sure a top 10 pick. I don't know if that was the case going over to the combine. He was somebody that everybody was talking about, but certainly feels like he tested himself into a top 10 pick. But the big data they're looking for is, are you healthy, and how do you handle the most stressful day of your life when we get a chance to talk to you? And that's where the value is on all of this. And I think Ohio State won pretty good. You're going to have 4 guys in the top 10. You're going to have 5 first-round picks. My hunch is 8 or 9 are going to be drafted. So it's not going to be a 14-person draft or anything like that, but 8 or 9 are going to be drafted. And it kind of mirrors what this season was. The very high end of this Buckeye roster was better than everybody's in the country. They had some depth things that maybe others didn't have in the lines of scrimmage that prevented them from beating Indiana and beating Miami. But, oh my God, it's a missed field goal against Indiana. It's a pick 6 against Miami. If those things don't happen, who knows how it goes? You lost to the team that won it, and you lost to the team that played for it. But the high-end talent at Ohio State traveled. And when we talked a couple months ago about, developed here is going to be done. Well, no, it's not. You still are, and this is going to be on every wall in the Woody, is what Sonny did and what these guys did over at the Combine.
Yeah, the next 2 months, so April 23rd, the first round of the draft, it's all just going to be an opportunity for Ohio State, several opportunities for Ohio State to capitalize on that developed here moniker. You've got the Pro Day on March 25th, and all of these guys who were in Indianapolis are going to work out in some form or fashion and impress the NFL scouts that are going to be there. I don't know if I guess, does Mike McCarthy come to Columbus because Mike Tomlin always did? Do the new AFC North coaches I got to go.
Yeah,
does Mike Tomlin show up? If he's taken maybe a gap year.
He was at Georgia. Doesn't his daughter play something at Georgia? Volleyball, maybe?
That sounds right.
Volleyball or basketball at Georgia? I think he might.
But this next month, 2 months, is for Ohio State and for Ohio State players. It's just part of the brochure.
Why would Sonny do anything at Pro Day?
For fun.
There's nothing to hide, but the tape's the tape, and then he did that. Why would you do anything?
And it's funny, a lot of people were probably saying, why is he doing anything at the Combine? Why isn't he waiting until his Pro Day?
Well, his position coach knew.
When you hit a walk-off homer, usually the game's over. So
I'll see you in April, kids. We'll see you in April. Austin in 2 minutes. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
Low testosterone can be a real problem for many men. It causes poor sleep patterns, decreased energy, low sex drive, and it makes it really hard to stay in shape. And as we all know, a healthy body is very important to our overall health and well-being. This is Jeff for Tri-State Men's Health, and if some or all of these symptoms sound like you, we can likely help you be done with low T. We can also help you lose weight, support your metabolism, improve your gains in the gym, and more with our new targeted body composition plans featuring GH peptides, NAD+, GLP-1s, and more. Our low T protocols, applied in conjunction with our body composition plans, will help most men see real improvements, true weight loss, higher energy, improved sleep, stronger workouts, and a renewed sex drive as well. Your initial visit is just $99 and includes blood work and a medical consult. And if you start on treatment the same day, your visit is free. Call 800-900-9654 or go to tristatemenshealth.com.
Featured therapies are compounded and have not been evaluated nor approved by the FDA. Provider prescription required. See website for details.
Steve here from USA Insulation. Let me ask you a question. Do you know why your thermos keeps your coffee hot? Because it's insulated with foam. So let us do the same thing and insulate your home with our premium foam for only $99 a month, interest-free. The cold weather's here. There's nothing better than sitting in a warm, comfortable home with your loved ones and keeping that cold, drafty air outside. So make the call today, 529-2440, 529-2440 or USAinsulation.net.
USA Insulation.
Need a roof you can count on? Ramos Roofing has protected homes and businesses throughout Ohio for almost 20 years. Whether it's a leaky roof, storm damage, new siding, or new gutters to protect your foundation, Ramos Roofing delivers quality materials, professional installation, and honest service every time. Get your free roof or exterior assessment today and ask about Ramos Roofing's no-interest financing options. Call 614-761-7663 or visit online at ramosroofingohio.com.
The Fan Poll is sponsored by JT's Pizza and Pub, home of award-winning pizza and 32-ounce Yingling drafts for only $4. He knows everything about the Buckeyes. He's been offered tens of dollars by a certain team to spill his secrets. He's told that certain team to go to hell.
Damn you all to hell!
He's Austin Ward.
Sponsored by High Bank Distillery Co. Kids eat half off every Monday. Find a location and menu at highbankco.com. Dine, drink, distill at High Bank Distillery.
NFL Combine in the books, spring practice right around the corner. It's heating up, my man. What did you learn, if anything, at the Combine about the Buckeyes who participated?
Heating up. What's with all this snow on the ground down here, Bo? I don't know what's going on with
I don't want to get into it. We talked about it. It breaks your heart because it's March. You can hear one shining moment. It's spring football. It's all the things we love, and then you're welcome to March with 2 inches of snow, and great. Thanks for that, Mother Nature.
Yeah. This weather is losing its mind. But
fair.
I was actually I think I told you last Monday, Bo. It's like, well, Arvell Reese doesn't need to do anything. Sonny Styles doesn't need to do anything. Caleb Downs doesn't need to do anything. Cornell Tate, like, what do they really have to gain from going to Indianapolis and like being there at all? You just do some interviews and shake hands and you'd be fine. But I think I was certainly surprised about, and maybe I shouldn't have been. We know how competitive these guys are, the standard that they hold themselves to, that, you know, if you're confident in your ability and you didn't have to play all the way into late January, or didn't get to, I should say, you know, these guys had plenty of time to train, get their bodies right. And that had been part of the opting out scenario for the Buckeyes at the Combine in the last few years. Like they missed a month of the training that a lot of everybody else had, which is very different, as you know, Bo, from the years going over there. The underwear Olympics are not the same as playing football. They're like Mickey Marotti and Anthony Schlegel are not trying to get guys to run the best 40 times in winter workouts. So it's a very different skill set in some ways. It doesn't translate always to football, but I think, you know, Arvell could look at that and be like, I might be able to move up to be the number 2 or number 3 pick if people, you know, see what I can do without the pads on, and then you add that to the film. So, you know, I think it was a good week for Ohio State. It pretty much always is when they get to go, you know, put their athleticism, physicality on display. They always impress in the interviews. So I think we're looking at a another historic NFL draft for Ohio State, which has become a recurring theme for the program.
Yeah, there's going to be 4 top 10 picks, 5 first rounders.
Yeah.
Does it at all? I mean, we knew all of this, but do you ever take a moment and reassess the way you viewed last season based on this type of stuff? When you see like 5 first-round picks, 4 top 10?
Yeah, I mean, I think I reassess it almost every single day. Was it better than I thought it was going to be in August? Yes. Was it disappointing the way it ended because of what we're talking about with the fact that now you're not going to get to play with Arvell Reese and Sonny Styles and Caden McDonald and Carnell Tate again. And, I think what they all accomplished in taking the next step in their careers and dragging along, which sounds negative, but when we were talking about Ohio State at this time a year ago, having to replace Jack and JT and Ty and that NFL draft class, it wasn't like that team is going to go 12-0 and look like a juggernaut in the regular season, and they're absolutely going to erase the losing streak in the rivalry and all those other things. Like, that was not the way that we were talking about the team. There was some level of skepticism, not that they were going to fall out of national title contention, but just that, well, they're going to be a different team. The one that plays Texas will not look like the one that plays Michigan at the end of the regular season, will not be the version that they are in the playoffs. And I think they got, because these guys were so great, and that should not be taken for granted or underestimated or underappreciated, they got the Buckeyes to a place where they were more competitive earlier than we thought that they could be. And then that added to the disappointment of December and January. And then at the same time, you look at what Miami was able to accomplish, what Indiana did, 16-0, and some of the conversation about Mendoza and the Heisman, all these, like that 13-10 game in December. That's the one where I look back and I was way more critical and negative and confused, and in some ways I maybe always will be, about the offensive game plan. But I did not leave Lucas Oil Stadium saying, "Gosh, those were the 2 best teams in college football, and we saw an absolute classic down to the wire, and it was a missed field goal away or a little bit more red zone execution or a lot more red zone execution away from Ohio State," completely flipping that dynamic, adding more hardware, and then putting themselves in a spot where they could have been the number 1 seed. And no one likes to live, certainly not in the Woody Hayes Athletic Center, in the world of what ifs and could have beens. But that's the part, Bo, where it's like you just go back and forth. Yes, they were on the brink. But would you have taken that season in July or August in training camp? I mean, you probably would. Everything was pointed towards another year of Julian and Jeremiah this year. But and then in an hour or as soon as I hang up the phone with you, I might feel completely different.
I think the way you described it is something that's really important. It's the way that I think about it too. I oftentimes will go, so I'm over there and I'm like, my God, they had those guys on that defense. Yeah. And then you go, well, yeah, no wonder they were the number 1 defense, one of the best defenses of all time. And Carnell Tate's going to be the first receiver off the board, and you got a guy who finishes 4th in the Heisman at quarterback, and the best player who'd be the number 1 pick in this draft is coming back for next year. And you do all of these things, and you go, well, God, maybe they should have won it. But you can't do that because around here there's always those type of circumstances. And I think what you did there was really smart, and I think it's something Buckeye fans have to remember, because the narrative around last year's team in July and August was, like, for me, beat Michigan, make the college football playoff. I mean, that to me was the requirement. Like, do that. Yeah. I think I added win the Big Ten. Beat Michigan, win the Big Ten. That was kind of like the goal, right? That wasn't necessarily the minimum requirement. The minimum requirement was beat Michigan. They did that. So I think we changed as it went along. We became aware of how good Patricia's defense was going to be and everything, and then it kind of changed as we went into it. But it's going to be one of those weird seasons to look back on, I do think, because your only 2 losses are to the 2 teams who played for it. And when we get into spring football next week, I'm very curious, because one thing that was pretty obvious last year coming out of the national title, and Ryan talked about this right at the beginning of spring, banners are down. This team didn't accomplish anything. So when we talk, and they start practice on the 10th, next Tuesday, when that goes, what will be the mantra for this team? What will drive them through the offseason? Yeah, I think that's also a great question and a great point, Bo, because there is a way where we can sit here right now at the beginning of March and a week out from the first practice and be like, the slate is almost kind of clean here for the program. And that may not ever be fully true for Ohio State, but the taking the banners down and trying to carve your own path
Like, this team doesn't have to worry about following up the national championship campaign. Almost all of the key contributors to that are gone. So that shadow is not looming over it. And the negative clouds of not beating Michigan, the losing streak, those are gone as well. So this hasn't been a winter. This won't be a spring where you have to put the laser focus on the game or living up to what the previous team did. I think this team in that way, and maybe it's just reaching at straws, I don't know. I think that this one, being free from some of those expectations, I think could be really liberating for this team, that they get to really go out and do everything on their own and forge their own identity. For maybe that's more important for Julian Sayin than anybody else. We'll see. But if you're looking across the board, as Peyton Pierce takes that next step, as Kenyatta Jackson tries to become a leader, and maybe the Blocko, the offensive line, has something, the chip on their shoulder for the way that year ended. Like, some of this will be, I think, greater motivation for them than even the team had a year ago. Because this is not to make any excuses for the way the season ended. I don't want to live in that world either. But this chance to go out there and fully forge your own thing and come off of a setback, human beings can get a little complacent. I'm not saying that's what happened to them, but everything is now in front of them to go do this. For many of them, the first time as the leaders, and I think that will be. You don't have to fabricate it. Like, it's going to be real for them. And they lost 2 games in a row. So if that doesn't motivate you enough, you're probably in the wrong building. And I know that all the guys that are in there, I'm very confident that they have the right ones.
I think you're right on all of that. I'll get you out of here on this one. Can be a Buckeye memory, can be a memory from childhood. March is here, although it doesn't feel like it. What is your favorite March Madness memory? Either covering a team, as a fan, what jumps out when I say that?
I think every week that we should just keep talking about Wyoming in 2002 and beating Gonzaga. I'm glad that you pointed me in the direction of Dr.
Go Pokes.
Marcus Bailey. Yeah, Marcus Bailey last week in his.
Yeah.
So I mean, that one, I had just got to college. Right before that, Wyoming had been on the brink, Bo, and we talk a lot about where we grew up and the teams that we covered at the start of our careers and like how much we love sports out in the Mountain Time Zone. I tell people all the time about the Arena Auditorium, the AA, the Dome of Doom, and I say it's 15,000 seats. Like, people don't understand what basketball, when it's good, but means to the people of Wyoming. They have always been more of a basketball program than a football program. So, they had games. I remember driving down when I was a senior in high school for, the last game of the regular season, Wyoming against Utah, trying to play their way into the tournament. Just, people hanging from the rafters in the dome. And it was one of the loudest places that I've ever been in for a game. Everyone's so invested, and they had a great team. But then upsetting Gonzaga, I think, was really the first time since Finis Dimbo that people were standing up and taking notice of the brown and gold, because you pull an upset like that, hugely significant. But also, the craziest one that I covered during March Madness, you're not going to believe this. You couldn't have anticipated this, but Wyoming won the WNIT, and the women were hosting all the way through. It was the most absurd ride that I've ever been through covering.
Oh, that's cool.
Because they had never been to the NCAA tournament. They thought they were going to get in. They got snubbed, and they're like, all right, well, watch this. And they played. So they were selling out the Dome of Doom for all these WNIT games. And they played a triple overtime game against Kansas State that I was also stringing for the, paper in Manhattan in the Kansas City Star and working for the Casper Star Tribune. And so I have 6 different stories going all at once for one of the most bananas games that I've ever seen and covered. So I will wake up in a sweat trying to worry if I hit the deadline for that game particularly. It was one of the most stressful ones I've ever covered. Also one of the best games that I've ever seen that no one will have ever, I hope, ever heard of.
I can Finis Dembo, Marcus Bailey reference with you all day. Wyoming WNIT battles. You're right. I did not have that one, buddy, but I think we've done our job here today. Appreciate you, pal, as always.
All right, man. We'll see you.
We'll do a little thing or not a thing up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
Staples has hot deals and low prices on everything for your business, like up to $125 off your print order. Ends 4/18. Exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/print for details.
This is the Daily Show with Coach Jake Diebler, brought to you by Encova Insurance. Ohio State defeats Purdue 82-74. This seemed to have all of the ingredients needed to win a game like this.
Yeah, I thought we talked before the game it was going to take tremendous fight and toughness, and I thought our guys showed that from the time the game started all the way through. Certainly, they're a great team, so they were going to respond with some runs, and I thought we were able to stop them, with either good offense or good defense when we needed to. So total team effort. Guys really stepped up. Really proud of the effort today.
Coach, you've talked about you wanted your team to finish better at the rim. What went into the advantage of getting 32 free throws as compared to the 10 for Purdue?
Yeah, I think obviously some of those were end of game, right? But we wanted to, we felt like if we could touch the paint and kick it out, there were going to be opportunities to redrive. And I thought our guys were intentional about driving the ball. If we got too perimeter happy, we felt like that, was built into what they wanted to do defensively. So our guys executed the game plan well. This was a game where we knew there wasn't going to be a lot of assist opportunities, but we could create advantages with our ball movement, and so I thought that was really good by our guys.
All right, we'll have another comment in just a moment.
Hi, I'm Archie Griffin, two-time Heisman Trophy winner. The right coverage can be a game changer, both on and off the court. That's why Encova Insurance and their local independent agents are prepared for what's next and protect what matters most to you. Whether that's your home, car, business, or family, Encova's got your back with a policy that fits you perfectly. With local independent agents in your neighborhood and innovative insurance products that can be tailored to fit your unique needs, Encova's playbook is an easy win for your peace of mind. Basketball is full of challenging shots, and life can be too. With Encova, you don't have to do it alone. Your expert agent will guide you and provide insurance solutions so you can confidently manage your risk and count on a financially secure future. For auto, home, and business insurance, you want Encova on your team. Visit Encova.com today to find an agent near you. Encova is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. Go Bucks!
82-74, the final score. Ohio State defeats Purdue this afternoon.
Coach, you've had to deal with so much, guys injured, players sick. What did you think about your bench here today?
Listen, I thought the whole team in the last 24 hours, we didn't know who was going to be ready. we showed up today, still not sure who was going to be ready. And our guys deserve a ton of credit for the toughness that they've shown, because we've had guys play through sickness, injury. We've had guys try to play that just couldn't quite get. I mean, there is no one in that locker room who isn't giving everything they can to help the Buckeyes. And it says a lot about, I think our culture and the group of young men we have. And listen, to out-rebound that team right there, that says something about your toughness.
It's the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
Hello, I'm Ross Bjork, Senior Vice President and Eugene Smith Wolf Foundation Endowed Athletics Director at The Ohio State University. In partnership with AEP, Donato's, Kroger, The Ohio State University Wexner Medical Center, Huntington, and 10 TV, Ohio State Athletics strives to inspire the community to make a positive impact on children and families in our great state through the Buckeyes Care Initiative. Show and share your support in the community by using the hashtag BuckeyesCare.
Everybody knows that Roosters is a fun, casual joint with their award-winning waitstaff, great food, fun, and laughter. It's a quick stop on the way home to sit back and unwind. It's a front row seat to the big game. Roosters is where you, your family, and friends can order pizzas, sandwiches, salads, and more. And the home of award-winning wings that are fresh, never frozen, and so big you won't believe it. It's your family's other dinner table. Roosters, a fun, casual joint, and the official wing sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
This is Gordon Miller from Miller Lending, the original home of the no closing cost mortgage. With interest rates at their lowest level in 4 years, what's stopping you from taking advantage? Maybe it's the thousands of dollars in closing cost? Well, what if I told you that those costs aren't required and that you decide whether to sacrifice $15,000 to $20,000 of equity at closing or zero? At Miller Lending, we're all about zero and have been offering no-cost loans since 1987. With no title closing or origination fees, imagine having the freedom to refinance any time a lower rate becomes available or a need arises. Even 0.5% lower in rate results in savings of over $100,000 over the life of your loan. So why wait? No-cost loans are real and here to stay. Simply call Miller Lending and see why thousands of satisfied clients have made that choice to say goodbye to closing costs forever. 877-9-NO-COST. That's 877-9-NO-COST. Or simply apply online at nocostmortgage.com. Miller Lending is an equal housing lender and MLS number 250-2146.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Diamond Seller, your true jeweler for almost 80 years. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Our top men are working on everything except this show.
We have top men working on it right now. Who? Top men.
You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
We watched Last Crusade Saturday night. I think the first time we'd all seen it as a family. Held up lovely. Incredible. Still great. I mean, one set piece after another. First, I don't mind Temple of Doom. I know. As a kid, movie. I actually saw that one the most. But I didn't realize that would have been a bit of an attention getter if you took kids to go see that with Cully and all that stuff. But I think all of them still hold up brilliantly. So enjoyed it.
Yeah, the first two are great. The second one's good.
I think that's fair. Time for a little thing or not a thing on a Monday.
Thing or not a thing.
Sponsored by Billiards Plus. Find your next grill and everything you need for the master griller. Billiards Plus on Dublin Center Drive in Dublin.
ESPN's Jeremy Fowler says Jimmy Garoppolo is believed to be a strong option for the Arizona Cardinals at quarterback next season. Mike LaFleur was Garoppolo's offensive coordinator with the LA Rams for the last 2 seasons, and the two are reportedly close. One league source even told Fowler that Garoppolo is, quote, LaFleur's guy. The 34-year-old Garoppolo has not actually been a full-time first-string quarterback since 2022 when he was with the San Francisco 49ers. Jeremy Fowler also says, watch out for Tua and the Atlanta Falcons. Thing or not a thing?
Well, the last one is pretty interesting because if you listened at all to Kevin Stefanski's availability over in Atlanta, it's not like he said Michael Penix is our guy. He definitely did not say that. So now Penix coming off an injury, and who knows where all of that tracks. The Garoppolo to Arizona thing makes all the sense in the world. I'm very curious. It seems like they're going to have to buy out Kyler, and then he will be a free agent. So that's most likely how that will go. So theoretically, for a team in cap trouble, he could play on the vet minimum for that team. This is actually perfect if you're doing, isn't Arizona the perfect team to truly tank? It's kind of perfect. They can trade Marv, bring him to Cleveland for a 2. Let's go. They're moving off of Kyler. You throw in Jimmy Garoppolo. There's not enough there where they're going to be winners, but they don't want to be. You want to be at the top of next year's draft. So to me, this kind of is a pretty smart thing if they actually do this. Because, the idea that he hasn't started actively since 2022 tells you kind of all you need to know about Jimmy in a quarterback-starving league. So it tells you a little bit about the way the league thinks of him. So in a way, it could be the perfect move.
Well, I understand everything you're saying, but is Jimmy Garoppolo actually worse than Kyler Murray?
He's less dangerous.
He's
less dangerous. Kyler, when healthy and motivated, I know those are big, he can win one kind of by himself. He has the ability to do that. Garoppolo does not have the ability to do that.
I think this makes a lot of sense for Arizona, especially he's been with LaFleur. And I think Garoppolo, there may have been a chance for Garoppolo to start somewhere, but I think he felt like he was in a good spot in L.A. And he could play there for a while. And this might be his last chance, so he could be motivated. So maybe the Cardinals get something good, or is like you mentioned, maybe just doesn't work and they get the number 1 pick next year. The Tua thing in Atlanta is very interesting. And if you weren't going to go with Michael Penix, why wouldn't you have just kept Kirk Cousins? I'm guessing Kirk Cousins is a little cheaper than Tua. Now, if
they had to cut him for the cap thing. I don't know that the door is closed on him. He might be able to go back.
There's all kinds of interesting parts to that.
Yeah, there's a lot of cap things that are going on this time of year because you have to get under the cap to attack free agency. Then you convert it into guaranteed money via signing bonus. So I think the Cousins thing, I think he could still end up back there.
I understand the Browns acquired a tackle this morning. There's a lot of talk on social media that the Browns should continue to address their offensive line in the first round of the NFL draft. I still say Carnell Tate at 6, but he was really slow over the weekend, I guess. He joined Pro Football Talk at the NFL Scouting Combine and was asked what he does in his spare time.
I play video games. I got a Lego set going.
Ooh, what Lego set are you doing?
So right now I'm currently in Titanic still. So I've been in it since like the beginning of the season.
Okay. Are we working out?
Yes, we are. We're
I want to keep talking Legos. Isn't it a great way to just kind of get away from everything?
Yeah, definitely.
You forget, like the whole world just disappears and you're just focusing on getting these damn blocks connected.
Yes, sir. Definitely.
What's the best one you've done other than Titanic?
The Eiffel Tower. But it's about 5 feet tall, long days, long hours putting into it.
First thing we're going to buy with this NFL money?
Definitely got to spoil it with Granny. Buy her a nice little house in Chicago so that I can go it back home and call Chicago my home.
Yeah, cool, man. I like it.
I thought you were going to say another Lego set. What's the next Lego set after you finish the Titanic?
I don't know. Probably one of the Star Wars collecting.
There you go.
Yeah.
Wow. Get the Ghostbusters Firehouse.
Okay, I got to check that one out.
You guys are nerds.
Thing or not a thing?
I guess I'm a nerd too, because I do once a year at Christmas. I will do one on the day after Christmas or whatever. This time I did it by myself because my whole family left me. But I put one together, and you start doing it, and then you wake up, and it's like 7 hours have passed, and you haven't really thought about anything else. I find it very therapeutic. I really enjoy doing it. I do it once a year, and I really enjoy it. So same, Carnell and Florio.
I'm guessing if you're someone like Carnell Tate, who is so dedicated to their craft, you need something kind of like that.
Yeah.
As you mentioned, therapeutic, maybe a little mindless, but not totally, because those Legos, you got to put some effort into it and getting everything put together the right way. So something you can just kind of get lost in. And I would guess that that's exactly something that Carnell... I think the best part about that is Sims keeps trying to keep the interview going, and Florio's like, no, how about them Legos?
Yeah, shut up.
What's next?
That's
Come on.
Florio gets it, though. Like, that's the thing that is going to get the attention is that. And there was a common... Obviously, Florio's involved in it, too. And it's almost like, for me, it's almost like opposite of mindless kind of bake, because you have to be, especially on the complex ones...
You have to stay locked in.
Oh, my God.
That's why I said maybe something you get lost in.
You do get lost. That's a good way to put it, because you have to be so locked into, because all of those pieces look similar. And so you have to be so locked in so that each piece goes exactly where it's supposed to be. But yeah, I find it very therapeutic. Yeah, that's good. I'm with you, Carno. We'll blitz the weekend coming up next. Bishop and Friends, right here on The Fan.
We've been your Jackets flagship station since day one. All the goals, all the action, all the memories. Your home for the Columbus Blue Jackets, the Fan, Ohio sports destination.
It's March. Send it in, big fella. That means the greatest sports weekend of the year is coming, and the best place to set the puppies and watch the tournament is at Hollywood Casino Columbus. I'm Scotty Vegas, and Thursday through Sunday opening weekend, kiss the kids goodbye and hang out from noon to 5 with the Fan at the Hollywood Casino Sportsbook. A Bill Raftery impersonation contest, free throw games, free shirts, and more. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-589-9966. Onions!
When second's making a play, short's got to cover.
A winning insurance strategy doesn't rely on one person.
Good hustle, good hustle.
Two things: communicate with your guys and make sure everyone's in the right coverage. It takes a team that knows its roles well, working together to provide an exceptional experience.
Set the screen. You have to protect yourself. All right? Wildcats on 3. 1, 2, 3, Wildcats!
At Shelter Insurance, you can count on our local agents and award-winning customer service to help you protect what matters most.
Hey everybody, it's Jeremy Birmingham Berm from the Austin and Berm Show on 97.1 The Fan. I hit maintenance mode after dropping 35 pounds with Awaken 180. The Awaken 180 coaches made it simple. Now pizza and ice cream are back, but the cravings aren't. That's a complete mindset shift. Awaken180weightloss.com.
Ever wonder where your go-to maintenance person gets the metal products they need to fix yours and everyone else's problems? The best in the business go to Metal Supermarkets for their wide variety of metal products and shapes to tackle projects from simple to complex. Metal Supermarkets is your source for all metals cut to size and ready fast. No minimum order with maximum service. Visit the family-owned franchise on North Wilson Road or at Columbus at metalsupermarkets.com.
Maybe it was a family vacation or a school field trip. But there you were, standing in awe
at a national park. We are the National Park Foundation, and together with you, we're creating a future where every person, every generation, gets their chance at an unforgettable moment. Today, tomorrow, forever. Learn more at nationalparks.org/foundation.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Jeff's day is off to a slow start. So he heads to AutoZone, America's #1 battery destination, where Sammy, a local AutoZoner, tests his battery for free. Looks like he just needs a charge. And Sammy does that for free too. In no time at all, Jeff is back on the road, ready to finish the day strong. Free battery testing and charging at every store. No hassles, just help.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Oh, could this vintage store be any cuter?
Right? And the best part? They accept Discover.
Accept Discover? In a little place like this? I don't think so, Jennifer.
Oh, yeah, huh? Discover's accepted where I like to shop. Come on, baby, get with the times.
Right. So we shouldn't get the parachute pants?
These are making a comeback. I think.
Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. Based on the February 2025 Nielsen report.
I love Right Pack Credit Union because they're solution driven.
I feel valued as a member. They're focused on the latest technology and the personal connections.
Experience benefits that go beyond banking with Right Pack Credit Union. Just ask our actual members.
I definitely recommend Right Pack to all my family and friends as a credit union of choice.
Visit one of our Columbus area Right Pack Credit Union member centers near you. Based on individual members' experiences, results may vary.
Care Heating and Cooling. Honest technicians, honest pricing. Call 1-800-COOLING.
Broadcasting live from the McDaniel GM Superstore Studios. Driving excellence since 1916. Chevrolet. Together, let's drive. WBNS HD1 Columbus.
Good morning. I'm Eric Reeser. Bruce Thornton is 30 points away from being Ohio State's all-time scoring leader. He needs 29 to tie Dennis Hopson, who sits on top of that list. OSU senior captain scored 20 yesterday as the Buckeyes knocked off number 8 Purdue 87-68 at the shot. Ohio State is 10-8 in Big Ten play. They'll play at Penn State Wednesday night at 7:30. Hear from Ohio State's head coach today at noon on the Jake Diebler radio show. NFL's free agency begin next week. The franchise tag is due tomorrow. Earlier this morning, the Browns acquired right tackle Titus Howard from the Texans in exchange for a 5th-round draft pick, and the Blue Jackets look to halt a 2-game slide. CBJ are at the New York Rangers tonight at 7. You can hear that game with coverage Monday night at 6:30. This update is sponsored by Uber Eats. Uber Eats is a great deal waiting for you at Scramblers. From now until March 31st, get a buy one, get one free deal on the Manhandler skillet. That's on the app. Terms apply. Breaking sports news when it happens on The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
10 feet tall and bulletproof isn't just a saying, it's a way of life. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
All right, final hour on a Monday edition of the program. It is trade season in the NFL. The Lions agreeing to trade running back David Montgomery to the Houston Texans. So the Texans involved in the tackle trade to Cleveland, and now they acquire their running back David Montgomery from the Detroit Lions. So they break up the Thunder and Lightning a little bit there.
That is a huge move for Houston. I never understood why Chicago got rid of him, and he went to Detroit and was part of that awesome tandem with Jahmyr Gibbs, and it seemed like, gosh, he had to score a touchdown in at least 75, maybe 80% of the games he played there. I really like this move for the Texans, giving CJ a little help in that running back room. That's really nice.
Yeah, I mean, he's great in the red zone, nose for it, leader, all of those things. So now they'll have Woody Marks and David Montgomery in Houston in that running back room. I do not see the a 5th-round pick. So I wonder if that's the 5th-round pick the Browns just traded to Houston.
Hey, we just got one, you know.
If that was that pick just bounced around the league.
So many of these will.
times.
I mean, Baker, you had the trade tree from Cleveland from years ago that culminated with the Titus Howard trade today, and now that 5th round just continues the tree.
Just a shell game with these picks.
Houston got David Montgomery for it.
This is what happens out of the combine, though, guys, is trade season happens out of it. So you'll see this week leading into free agency, there will be a bunch of it because then you're going to have cuts. You'll have trades, cuts, free agency. That's the way that that's kind of the order it'll all go. Let's blitz the weekend. Hit it, fellas.
Bishop and Friends present a weekend sports blitz.
Sponsored by Metal Supermarkets. Visit metalsupermarkets.com/Columbus for all your metal needs.
I believe I had that. Reese, what did you have?
I had that I would not watch any of the combine Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. The only combine stuff I took in was content I found on social media. I'm not going to find NFL Network to see some corner or some wide receiver from Southeast Missouri State run a blazing fast 40. I just don't care about it that much because the pro days, I think, are really where a lot of players, if they're going to do anything out of their tape, that's where they're going to make their hay. But everything else is like, I just see what he did on the field in college. I'm good.
I think it's we talked about this a little last week when I got back from Indy. I think that they would do better. They would be better served these being during the day in the week.
100%.
I think it gets lost on the weekends. I didn't see anybody talking about it over the weekend. Go ahead, Bill.
Reese, I wish I could say the same, but I did consume a little. It was on in the background when I was doing stuff around the house, or I really enjoyed it at night to go to sleep to because I didn't have to pay attention to it.
Put
it on, yeah.
Okay.
And drift off to sleep. I do believe, though, I had something coming from the combine, and that was that Sonny Styles was going to improve his draft stock. And that's tough to do because almost every mock draft, he was 15, no worse than 15. He was a top 15 pick. I would say he's guaranteed top 10 now, maybe a top 5 pick with that performance he put on. When we talked about this on Friday on the show, but when people are comparing you to Megatron, that's impressive stuff.
Yeah, I think you're right. And I also think the way that he handled the interview stuff was impressive. How he said, "I'm one of 11. Like, don't think of me as an off-ball linebacker. Think of me as one of the 11 best defensive players on your team," and that's smart.
Sounds
very,
like
very
his
smart.
linebacker coach.
It does. Sounds exactly. He's pretty smart in his own right. I had that Ohio State would beat Purdue. I was incredibly confident that we would beat Purdue on Sunday. I was talking with the boys on Sunday about the brackets and bracketology and all of that stuff, and I'm like, they're gonna. I just felt it, and some of it is the fact that you'd beaten them the last 2 times. Some of it is you just were due. They were knocking on the door of a win like this for it feels like a month, and they finally got one. I was very confident they would do it. It didn't surprise me one bit that they took care of business on Sunday. I did not have that. What did you not have, Reese?
I didn't have the Columbus Crew or 2 games into the 2026 campaign.
Yeah.
It's way too early of a start. They had a 2-2 draw in Kansas City. Their home opener at Scott's Miracle Grove Field will be Saturday against Chicago. But maybe wait a couple weeks, guys.
Well, and if they go to that winter schedule, that's going to be a mess.
Who do they think they are running around outdoors in shorts this time of year?
Only you. Only you, Meg.
What
did you not have?
Unlike you, I did not have the Buckeyes winning yesterday.
Really?
And even as that game went along, you kept seeing Purdue get it down to 8 points, to 6 points. But every time the Buckeyes answered and hit a shot somehow, and we have not seen them do that in the past. So I don't think I was confident that Ohio State was winning that game until the 3:27 mark yesterday, but they got it done. I'm glad I was wrong.
I did not have that 2 years ago at this time when I took then 12-year-old NBC to Kentucky and then said out loud, well, I guess I got to do this for all of them. I had no clue how expensive it is to go to Lawrence, Kansas for senior day at KU. I'm embarrassed for what this flight cost me. I am embarrassed for what I'm paying for a hotel room in Lawrence. I am sure I haven't even bought the tickets because I keep thinking at some point they're going to go down. At some point they are. I don't think that they are.
I don't think they are either.
It is. I had no idea what I was getting into. Like the Kentucky trip with NBC was just kind of spur of the moment. We did it. Then I said out loud, well, I got to do it for all of them and I'm done coaching them in 6th grade. I did not know what I was in for. It's a bad job out of me. Player who impressed. Reese, who do you got?
Tyler Reddick. He's won 3 straight NASCAR races. And I only saw this because he recreated iconic Michael Jordan photo with the NBA championship trophy. And people were mad at him about that. And I'm like, guys, just having a little bit of fun because obviously the connection's there. But shout out to Tyler Reddick for having me talk about NASCAR in March.
Jordan owns the team.
Yep.
Reddick is the first driver in NASCAR history to win the first 3 races.
First team to also win the first 3 races.
Oh, I didn't even know that part of it. So first team.
The GOAT.
Those Hendrick guys never did it with Johnson and Gordon when those guys were running, huh? Wow.
Nope. For me, it's Matthew Schaefer. He's the 18-year-old rookie defenseman for the New York Islanders. Yesterday, he scored his 20th goal of the season. He leads all rookies in scoring, and he's a defenseman. He has kind of changed the trajectory of the New York Islanders franchise in the same way like a Connor Bedard or a Macklin Celebrini or even like a Connor McDavid have in the past.
Mm-hmm.
Not a lot of defensemen score 20 goals. In fact, there's only 3 that have done it so far this year, and that's just pretty impressive from him.
Yeah, it certainly is. I'm going to go Sonny and Lorenzo. Sonny won Thursday. Lorenzo won the weekend. I just don't know that a family is ever going to have a day like that at the Combine ever again. Like for one family from Pickerington to have the best Combine day ever, God bless them. Incredible. Player who disappointed, Reese.
This isn't necessarily a player. I'm just going to go with a franchise, the Detroit Pistons.
Oh, same.
You complete morons.
Dude.
In the third quarter of Friday's game against the Cavaliers, their scoreboard horn went off and wouldn't stop blaring. So they had an 18-minute delay so they could reset everything.
I couldn't. It's mine too, so I'm going to skip you just for a second, Bake, then we'll get back to you. It's mine too. We're watching it live, and I'm going, just unplug it.
Yeah. Turn it off.
Just unplug the apparatus. We know what the score is. You're keeping a real-time score. Like, it took 12 minutes. A horn went off for 12 minutes. And from what I could tell, there was one guy who could fix it, and he was on a cell phone for half of it.
Yeah, this was absolutely, I got a remote in to get this thing. It's like, no, unplug the damn thing. And then they used a regular air horn in a can for the rest of the game. And this is, I don't know if your kids are old enough to remember this, but the Detroit basketball and like their stadium in arena announcer forever with the kind of newer bad boy Pistons was in my nightmares when LeBron was trying to fight them in like 2004, 2005.
Yeah. That was crazy.
I hate you, Detroit.
Just go Office Space on the thing.
Yeah, that's it. Just
busting up.
it.
I wanted to.
It was crazy.
They lost too, which
12
stinks.
minutes. Yeah, in overtime.
We talked about this a little earlier, Bo, but the player who disappointed was me. Bad job out of me the other night at the Blue Jackets game, not going down and braving the crowds and checking out the gold medal jersey and the puck. If you missed a couple minutes of gameplay, getting back up to where you need to be, who cares? I should have went down there and checked it out and seen the atmosphere and seen the people and just how much buzz it generated.
They're back Tuesday?
They are back Tuesday.
Will they be back, or was it a one-off?
That I'm not sure. I believe it was a one-off. Unfortunately, I won't be there Tuesday.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, you blew it. You blew it, Beck.
I did.
Bud Kilmer, honorary coach of the week. Who do you got, Reese?
I'm going to give it to Jake Diebler. It was a heck of a win. Because I was like you, Baker, that there were points in the second half. I'm like, they're going to blow this. They're going to blow this, aren't they? They didn't.
I'm not going to go Michael Jordan because I did that last week, and you mentioned it already. And Diebler's probably the appropriate one. I'm going to go Kevin McGuff, though. For him to get the Lady Bucks to bounce back after losing 3 straight and beat a top 15 ranked team on their floor by 20 points, hitting 18 threes. Good job out of you, Kevin McGuff. That could have got away from you real quick, but that's a nice win going into the Big Ten tournament. Unfortunately, just short on the double bye, but it's good for them.
It was very good for them. I'm going to stay on campus with this one. I'm going to go my buddy Nick Myers with the Ohio State lacrosse team. They were at Georgetown on Saturday, behind early, win 10-9. They are 6-0 on the season. They are ranked 9th in the country. They host Notre Dame Saturday at 2 o'clock. Notre Dame, of course, bounced him last year in the tournament. He's got an incredible program. Caleb Fayak, he's in the mix at goalie. He's a fun one to watch. There's a lot to like about this team, and it's an incredible program. Next 2 weekends, so in the next 2 weeks, they have the game Saturday at 2 o'clock against Notre Dame, and then on Thursday night, they host Denver at 7 p.m. Those are 2 massive games back-to-back for the Lax Bucks. So good job out of coach and good job out of the program. It is a trivia question that I wasn't sure would ever be answered. It was yesterday. I'll explain coming up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
The sound of Paul Keels calling a Buckeye game is erotic. Oh, yes. Your home of the Buckeyes, The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
At St. Jude,
Every innovation we make is a moment we give to children with cancer everywhere. But we can't do it without you.
Learn more at stjude.org.
This is Gordon Miller from Miller Lending, the original home of the no-closing cost mortgage. With interest rates at their lowest level in 4 years, what's stopping you from taking advantage? Maybe it's the thousands of dollars in closing cost? Well, what if I told you that those costs aren't required and that you decide whether to sacrifice $15,000 to $20,000 of equity at closing or zero? At Miller Lending, we're all about zero and have been offering no-cost loans since 1987. With no title closing or origination fees, imagine having the freedom to refinance any time a lower rate becomes available or a need arises. Even 0.5% lower in rate results in savings of over $100,000 over the life of your loan. So why wait? No-cost loans are real and here to stay. Simply call Miller Lending and see why thousands of satisfied clients have made that choice to say goodbye to closing costs forever. 877-9-NO-COST. That's 877-9-NO-COST. Or simply apply online at nocostmortgage.com. Miller Lending is an equal housing lender and MLS number 250-2146.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. Spring is right around the corner, and if you're like me, I bet you're excited for warmer weather. But as temperatures rise, make sure your energy bills don't. Keep those cooling costs low with Window Nation's high-quality, energy-efficient products. Simply request a consultation where the experts will visit your home, spot problem areas, and make recommendations. Then they'll install your customized windows in just a day. With Window Nation windows, your home will be shielded from outside hot air while you remain cool and comfortable inside throughout the spring and summer. Window Nation's going to have your house looking great, and you'll also have peace of mind. Did you know all of Window Nation's products are backed by a lifetime warranty? It's true. There's no better time than now to upgrade your home with Window Nation. In March, the more you buy, the more savings you can enjoy. Up to 50% off all window styles. Yeah, 50% off. Plus, Window Nation's got some great financing options, including $0 down and payments as little as $199 a month. Visit windownation.com for your free consultation today. That's windownation.com.
No one plans to get into an accident, but when it happens, we strive in making life easier for you. This is Justin Hinderer. The Hinderer Motor Company Collision Center is ICAR certified and certified by many manufacturers to provide the best quality repair available. All of our repairs come with a lifetime warranty. We have our own 24/7 towing service so you never have to wait. Plus, we offer on-site rental cars for every lifestyle. At Hinderer Motor Company, we love what moves you.
All your favorite and least favorite fan shows are available wherever you get your podcasts. Just type in 971 The Fan to the search bar and hit that subscribe button. It's free.
We're the land of the free and the home of the sunburnt, freckled fat guy.
Do it now.
A system for every home and every budget at Logan AC and Heat Services. Get a free Trane furnace with the purchase of an air conditioner. And don't forget about our 10-year parts and labor warranty available now. Logan Services.
Flexible, secure, fun. Oh, and great pay, too. Are you not sure what you want to do for a career? Or are you thinking of changing careers? Being a dental hygienist or dental assistant may be the perfect fit for you and provides all of these perks, plus more. Talk with a dentist in your community or visit ODA.org to learn more. Become a valuable member of the dental team and start helping people love their smile. This message is brought to you by the members of the Ohio Dental Association.
Some foot issues just can't be fixed by those expensive shoe stores or shoe inserts. A foot exam from a doctor of podiatric medicine, who is the medical expert in foot and ankle care, may give solutions after doing a complete foot examination. If you suffer from foot, heel, or ankle pain, let us help you find a member of the Ohio Foot and Ankle Medical Association so you know you are being treated by the very best.
For more information or to find a member of the Ohio Foot and Ankle Medical Association near you, visit ohiofoot.org.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
The snow will be clearing out as we head into this afternoon after about 2 to 4 inches of snowfall fell across the area, but we are tracking some better conditions. Temperatures warming up into the upper 30s, and then we are tracking rain arriving here as we head into tonight and for tomorrow. Could see rainfall amounts over 1/4 of an inch here for the next 24 hours as we see highs in the 50s here on your Tuesday. That's a look at your 10 weather impact forecast. I'm meteorologist Aaron White here on 97.1 The Fan.
Matty Ice is currently bathing himself in creamy jalapeno dip. And I've officially run out of ways to tease this show. Rothman and Ice.
Weekdays at noon.
The Fan. The perfect show for quarter zips and khaki shorts. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
We have this conversation every year when we are out at Jack's place for the Memorial Tournament. And the conversation goes something like this. Will we ever have a major in the state of Ohio again? It's been a long time since we've had one. And we kept going back to, and I've even done this, I've talked about this a lot, like, is there a way for either the PGA or the U.S. Open to be at Jack's place? And as much as we all love the Memorial Tournament, I gave a proposal once to the great Dan Sullivan, the great Tom Sprouse, off air, and I said, would it ever be something? And that I get their pushback because they do the Memorial Tournament. It's the best tournament on tour. It feels like a major in every way, and everybody knows it. And it's all that it is. But at the same time, I thought, well, could you go to Scioto and play the Memorial one time at Scioto for Jack's first time ever, the place he learned how to play, and play the Memorial 1 year there, and then play Muirfield for the U.S. Open? Because to me, Muirfield is a perfect U.S. Open course. Like, if you could do all of the things that the U.S. Open does, and I think it would be spectacular. But it was something that I understand their hesitance to do that. I get it totally, because they have this crown jewel on the PGA Tour and you don't really want to mess with it at all. So I get it. So that was the place that I always came back to. The other place that I always thought of was Firestone. Would they ever return to Firestone in some way and host a major there? And AR may have a different view of this. Firestone, it's the course that they play isn't even the best of the courses that they have up there, in my opinion. It's not the most fun. It might be for really, like, Rothman's a great player, so maybe for him it is. But for me, I just thought it was really long and really, really difficult. But it's pretty straight. But there was nothing to Firestone. Now, the reality is we will see a U.S. Open and a major in the state of Ohio, and this came through yesterday. It is not going to be at Firestone. It's not going to be at Muirfield. It's not going to be in Central Ohio. It's not going to be in Cincinnati. It's not going to be in Northeast Ohio. In fact, we'll be in Northwest Ohio at Inverness. So Inverness is going to host the 2045 U.S. Open.
Buy tickets now.
Will we even have, how many golf tours will be involved at that point? Like, what is the state of the union? My God, who knows? It's a long ways off. I would say there's a 62% chance that I'll be here for that. That's a long ways out, man. But all the way in 2045, you will get it at Inverness Club. Pretty certain they're the last ones to host a major in the state of Ohio. I think they hosted a U.S. Open or a PGA in the 80s, I believe. Inverness Club has. They just did a massive rebuilding of their clubhouse, and a lot of times you'll see this when you do these massive improvements, then you'll be rewarded. And what's really interesting about Inverness Club getting on here is the U.S. Open has taken kind of a British Open view to the U.S. Open, where basically every couple years it's going to be at Pinehurst, it's going to be at Shinnecock, it's going to be at Pebble, it's going to be at Oakmont, and then they sprinkle in a Marion and LACC, the Country Club in Brookline. They'll sprinkle some of those in, but you're always going to play a rotation of Oakmont, Pebble, Shinnecock. Like, that's in the mix the whole time. There's one at Riviera, one at Winged Foot. I think this year they're at Shinnecock. Shinnecock's in the rotation constantly, so's Pebble. So the fact that one is coming here, albeit 19 years from now, we will have one back for the kids out there. You're just going to have to go to Toledo to see it.
So, Bo, to answer your question, Inverness hosted the PGA in 1993.
Okay.
The last time they hosted the U.S. Open was 1979. And in fact, is this right? Canterbury Golf Club hosted a U.S. Open in 1996.
Really? 96? That can't be a...
That's what it says here.
The 96 U.S. Open? That feels like a senior open.
It says U.S. Open, but I don't know. I'll look more into that. The cool thing, too, about yesterday's announcement was Inverness in 2033 is going to host a U.S. Girls Junior, and then the 2036, the U.S. Women's Amateur. So they're giving them a couple things here, although not majors. It is some more golf tournaments coming to the state.
Yeah, I think what they do in that is show us you can do this, and then we'll give you a big guy. It was at Oakland Hills in 96.
Yeah, I don't know why that says that here.
Yeah.
Their fifth U.S. Open, like Baker said, their seventh major championship. I'm learning now Toledo's Mayor Wade Kapsukowicz is calling this a monumental coup for the city. Yeah.
Can you imagine?
No.
Like,
there might be nothing bigger you do as mayor of a town like that.
Yeah.
And score the U.S. Open.
Yeah. I mean, that's a pretty remarkable thing. Of course, it's behind a paywall. I was trying to think of Ohio courses who have hosted majors. Canterbury up in Cleveland hosted all five.
It was the Senior Open, by the way, in 96.
That makes sense. Yeah. So the club hosted the U.S. Open and the PGA Championship, but that's back. They hosted the U.S. Open in 40 and 46, the PGA in 73, then the Senior Open in 96. Columbus Country Club hosted a PGA or a U.S. Open at one point, like in the 60s.
And was Sciotus hosting it this year?
And they've hosted it like within the last decade, right? They hosted a Senior Open maybe 10 years ago. I think they hosted one too. The PGA Championship in 1964, Columbus Country Club hosted. So is that the last major in Central Ohio, 1964?
For the tour, likely.
Yeah, last major for the PGA Tour was all the way back then.
Yeah, I think to your point, like Muirfield could absolutely.
Oh, it's perfect.
But
yeah, and I get it. I understand. Like you never want to skip. You don't want to skip the memorial. I totally get it. I also understand that, Scioto does not have probably the infrastructure to host a PGA tournament, that would be very difficult for them just with parking and everything else. How did they do it when they hosted the Senior Open? I didn't go to it,
so
but in the last 10 years. Yeah, it was like 10 years ago. Okay. Yeah, they must. I didn't hear any complaining about it.
A lot of street parking, I guess.
Yeah. He should sell it for, $40, $45,
Bob.
$50 a pop.
$500 a day.
Yeah,
hey,
that's
not
Bob.
there.
Stack
Over
some
here.
cars in there.
I told you that way.
He's doing the parking.
There's no question he'd be doing the aligning.
I mean,
bringing them in a little closer.
I'll say this. There are several dignitaries from The Ohio State University that live around there. They want to show that they're serious about Ohio State's NIL. You park on the grass at their place. All the proceeds go to name, image, and likeness efforts at The Ohio State University. You're welcome, Ohio State dignitaries, for that idea.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah, this state's just too good at golf to go that long without one.
And too passionate.
Way too passionate. And there's too many great golf courses. I mean, we've got 4 top 100s in this town alone. And if you think about Camargo, now that's a little different down in Cincinnati, but you think about Firestone and Inverness, it's too long without there being more. I mean, you think about 20 years ago, you had 2 iconic tour stops every year. You had the Memorial, and then you had Firestone. And it's not a coincidence that Tiger Woods won a lot at both. And there was incredible juice for those tournaments. Now Firestone has tried. I think they do a senior. Do they have like the 5th major on the senior tour? I think they do up there. But it's not the same as, having Tiger and the boys come to town. It's a very, very different experience. So the question will be, that's 2004. That's got to be an anniversary of a Tiger Masters, a Tiger U.S. Open win.
Just about every year.
They almost all were. Yeah. I mean, I just, you wonder if he'll be there for it. I mean, he'll be in his
70.
2045?
Yeah.
No
anniversaries for Tiger on 2045, or he won't be there.
It would be 45 years from 2000.
He'd go to Toledo at that age.
He ain't going to Toledo at that.
Come on.
Have either of you spent any time in Toledo?
Not to disparage the Glass City a night.
He does have it would be the 40th anniversary of his Open championship, but that's not the U.S. Open. He won the U.S. Open in 2000, 2002, and 2008. The last one at Torrey. Masters 97, 01, 02, 05, and 19. Dude, some of his early 2000 stuff is... If you weren't there, you wouldn't believe it. His 2005 into 2006, wins the Masters in 05, wins the Open Championship in 05, wins the PGA in 06, wins the Open Championship in 06. And that's not even the Tiger Slam year. That's 2000 to 2001.
It was Tiger versus the field, and he was the favorite.
He was the favorite.
I mean, if you didn't live through it,
you'd never know.
You couldn't wrap your head around it.
No. There's no way to put it into proper perspective, the dominance that he had at that time. Just no way to do it. Just so ridiculously better than the field at that point. The Jackets with a massive week ahead of them. It's going to feel like a game every day because it damn near is. Shelley, time in 2 minutes to get you set. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. If your garage floor has stains, cracks, or even the dreaded bad epoxy job, maybe one you tried to do yourself, maybe one you paid for and it didn't work out, it can make your entire garage look bad. Let's be honest about it. And maybe those botched garage floor coatings that you've had in the past have put you off of ever getting it fixed. Well, my friends, let me tell you, the people at Comer and Cross Concrete Floor Coatings want you to know there is a fix out there. They can make your garage floor gleaming, glistening, look like a new car showroom. You call Comer and Cross at 1-800-NEW-FLOOR, and they will come out with their pros, no subcontractors, and install a gleaming new Comer and Cross garage floor in just 1 day. Yeah, this floor is guaranteed to never chip, crack, or even show tire lift like epoxy or paint can. Never going to have that problem with Comer and Cross. Call them today, 1-800-NEW-FLOOR. It's that easy. 1-800-NEW-FLOOR, or you go to comercross.com. That's C-O-M-E-R cross.com. Get a new garage floor with Comer and Cross Concrete Floor Coatings today.
Get your car ready for spring adventures. This month at your local AAA Tire and Auto Service location, buy 3 select tires and get 1 free. And on the plus side, AAA members save more. Offer ends March 31st. See store for details.
College. A time to broaden the mind, question, learn. A time to challenge the status quo. And eat a ridiculous amount of pizza, which you can buy with your Huntington Bank debit card with the Ohio State University logo. Huntington Bank is proud to be the official consumer bank of The Ohio State University and the unofficial bank of pizza. Let's go Bucks! Let's get more from money. Switch to Huntington Bank. Welcome.
Did winter leave you with a roof leak just as spring approaches? Don't stress. The team at Newman Roofing has you covered. Voted Columbus's best roofing company 4 years in a row. Schedule your estimate by calling 614-NEW-ROOF or visit newmanroofing.com. Don't just get a new roof, get a Newman roof.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Diamond Seller, your true jeweler for almost 80 years. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
The Gloves. Shelley time.
Indeed it is. We head out on the Bryan Heating Cooling Systems fan guest hotline. A little bit of Shelley time. Jackets going to be busy. It's going to be really busy over the next week. Before we get to what is ahead, what was Saturday night like for you with the return and the celebration and all of it? Not necessarily the result at the end where you get the overtime loss in a game that was, all of these are critical, but just everything that the organization did around Zach and the Olympians.
Yeah, you know what? That was so kind of rewarding, I guess, if you will. You know, Zach Werenski is such a special person and player, and we were all so proud to send him off the last game before the break. You know, and he's so humble, and you know, you could tell he was ready to go get some business done. And for him to come back, and I love the way they played the goal that Jack Hughes scored for the gold medal in the building. Mm-hmm. And it's like we all watched as fans, and then the fans at Nationwide got to cheer it, you know, as if it just happened. And that was just that was the most special moment. And I love, you know, we don't see a lot of Zach with fist pumps or smiles or, you know, those emotional moments, but to see him stand up and give it a double fist pump and try to get his crowd going. It was one of those moments where it just felt you're proud to be a part of. So it was I thought they did a tremendous job with the Blue Jackets, and I thought, you know, heroes welcome for Zach Werenski and the rest of the Olympians. It was done right. It was done right.
Yeah, they just do all the little things right. The organization does. They just crush any opportunity they get to do this type of stuff. They crush it. It started well enough on Saturday, Jode. I mean, you get the first goal, you get the second goal, and it felt like there were opportunities to get the third. You just couldn't get it in. And then when that happens, then all of a sudden you don't get the full result. You still get the point because you go to overtime, but obviously that is a massive game when you're playing the Islanders. I was listening to some of Bonus's post-game stuff and puck luck and some of that stuff. What did you make of what you saw Saturday?
Yeah, you know, it's the margins are going to be slimmer here the last part of this season, and you know, there's teams that play like Boston plays a 5-on-5 game. They take a lot of minor penalties, but they trust that they're going to get power plays, and they know their power plays is a big part of getting that next goal. And they cash in on it. And for the Blue Jackets, there's a lot of dialogue about them not getting power play opportunities right now. And it's a real thing. Like, you have to create it in a lot of times. But sometimes, there's low event as far as power plays going the other way. You never see it lopsided. You see two maybe the other way and none for the Blue Jackets. But for them to have one power play in the last two games is crazy. Yeah. So that's a real conversation to be had, because that's where games are won and lost in this league. So that's something they have to either find a way to generate, or, it needs to be, you can't say they deserve power plays, but they've got to find ways to use their speed to put the opposition in a bad situation, or, spend time around the net to get those man advantages that they're looking for. And then, the last two games they've played very well. They've played good hockey, but there's been dips where you get the lead, and you see this all around the National Hockey League, and it's usually in the second period. The team that's leading, usually there's a dip in the way they play the game for most of the league, and that's where the other teams hang around. And listen, goaltending for a lot of these teams who are in the conversation, teams that they're chasing, is good enough to keep their team in games at any given night, just like the Blue Jackets have. So, you're gonna find moments to create opportunities. You have to take advantage of them, and it's such a fine line with some of the opportunities they had. Boone Jenner with a late post. The way that it's just under a minute, the Islanders get two breaks there and two power plays and get back in the game. So these are good hockey teams. When you have the lead, you have to find a way to get that extra gear to find a killer instinct to push them out.
Joe, just for our audience so they properly understand it, because obviously they play tonight, play tomorrow. They have 3 games before the deadline Friday. By the time you and I do this next Monday, they will play 5 games in a week. You've been a part of this. When you're in this mix and you have these Olympic breaks and all of a sudden you have this incredibly condensed amount of games, fans love it. What do you look for from players? How do they feel about it? I mean, I just think about sea legs, and I mean, what do they make of the next couple of weeks?
They love it.
Do they?
I mean, no one wants to practice. Yeah, to me, it's the best.
Yeah.
Because you get a rhythm when you play that much. And the most important thing is, for a team, the advantage the Blue Jackets have, in my opinion, is they have 4 solid line and 6D they can put out there. They're going to lean on Werenski and Marchenko at times and Fantilli, but you get in a rhythm, and mistakes, you don't worry about them as much, because you got a lot of hockey coming. You know what I mean? I mean, a mistake within a 60-minute game, you can correct it quickly within games. I love it. These guys, they want to play hockey, and they want to keep competing. And the advantage of having a deep team means that, the minutes get spread out. The battles are spread out. And listen, I'll tell you an observation from the other night. And, the break just ended, and I'm watching these guys compete. And I'm watching the urgency at ice level between the Islanders and the Blue Jackets. And I'm watching a guy like Sean Monahan and Boone Jenner, and specifically Monahan, just the way he was battling, the intensity, how much work went into everything. They love competing like this, and they're going to get rewarded. Monahan's going to get a goal. These things are going to happen, big moments, and that's what you play for, and that's what keeps you energized. But the key is keep playing and get the rest, and that's what the coaches are doing now. They're making sure that the players get rest, but also, balance minutes.
How busy do you think the trade deadline will be Friday? I mean, just us. We have 3 games between now and then, and we have pieces that obviously contending teams would love to have. Do you and by the way, you could make the other decision. You win 3 in a row, and maybe you want to try and add somebody to buoy that second line. So this is a massive week for this organization, but around the league, what's kind of your sense as you talk to folks around the league on what to expect this week?
I think it's going to be fairly busy. I'm in Toronto tonight, and this team is severely underachieved. And, they moved Marner last year, and it's a different dynamic. They're asked to play a different style of game. But I think any team in the East is looking to add. It's just who is looking to sell and what's the price. And you kind of feel like the market hasn't been set yet, but I think there's going to be a lot of movement, because a lot of teams that hold pieces understand that the desperate teams are going to have to make moves and improve their team. And you look at a team like Buffalo, who's in the playoffs now, Montreal, they want to add pieces, but, you know, they want it at a cheaper price, where teams that are going to make moves and give up some of their assets, they want that at a good value. Teams don't want to do a rebuild. They want to do kind of a retool like the Boston Bruins did over the offseason. They moved out some pieces. They brought in some new pieces. They changed it up, but now they're a better team. And I think that a lot of teams with these holes right now are going to make the moves. It's just not going to be until later in this week. You know, it could be as early as Wednesday, but you know what? Once it starts happening, you're going to see a lot of movement around the National Hockey League, because teams like the Maple Leafs, they want to make moves right now. And you're seeing guys like Myers being held out in Vancouver, a big defenseman. He's a great piece to add. I think you're going to see a lot, because everyone's in the playoffs and everyone wants to understand. Everyone wants to make sure that they're doing it. And a lot of organizations have to make the playoffs. So that's what's going to make it even more enticing.
If you are Don Waddell and you're staring at this week, what's your wish list, if any, for the trade deadline this weekend?
You want to add a top 6 forward. Yeah. You need a piece that can get that goal or make that play or complement one of your top 6. You know, Kent Johnson being out of the lineup now, that's a skilled player that they had hoped to bring that 20 to 30 goals, you know, and complement a second line that's been stale. That hasn't been working out so far. He's still a young player that needs to get a little more strength in battles. And, you know, so they need someone to be in that spot to complement that Monahan line, because right now, or you move that line around. You know, can you put Monahan in Fantilli's spot there and maybe get Fantilli with someone that he can play with, you know, in that top 6 role? But they need to get the second line going, and they need a piece that can be offensive and play in that position.
That was the next one. What would you do with the second line if we don't acquire somebody? What would you do with it?
I would flop it. I'm not a coach, but I like Monahan with Marchenko. I really do, and I think that you know, they were one of the best lines in hockey last year and parts of this year. That's my opinion. I think Monahan is one of those guys that cools and elevates, and I think that's a line that's got to be. They need a dominant line, and I think there's times in games, critical times, when young Fantilli's in his 3rd year, really second and a half. He missed half of that first year. You know, it just kind of, the opposition can put him in tough spots, whereas Monahan's that guy that can settle things down.
Love it, buddy. Enjoy the keg. I assume it's on your dance card at some point when you go to Canada. It usually is, so enjoy that. And so you're in Toronto, so we'll hear you back on the broadcast tomorrow night, right? Yeah. Tomorrow I'll be back to Nashville, but tonight I won't be there. So go Jackets, though. We got the Maple Leafs Flyers here tonight. Flyers are hanging around, and it should be interesting. It's Craig Berube against Rick Tocchet, so two legends in the National Hockey League. That's a beautiful sweater game too. Oh, it is. That's a classic confrontation. Yeah, it really is. All right, buddy. We'll do it tomorrow, provided you're not in transit somewhere. Talk to you soon. All right, thanks, buddy. See you, bye. All right, there he goes. A little bit of Shelley time on the Bryant Heating Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. Get you 3 things on a Monday. Up next, Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
A lot has changed in 30 years, but we're still that old shoe that feels worn in and well-loved. And, well, we smell a little, but you've accepted that. The Fan.
Staples has hot deals and low prices on everything for your business, like up to $125 off your print order. Ends 4/18. Exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/print for details.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. Tired of snoring? Dr. Mark Levy can help with a custom mouthpiece that opens your airway and stops the snoring. No mask, no noise. Call 1-800-MORE-SLEEP or visit sleepbettercolumbus.com today. Stop snoring. Sleep better. Live better.
Welcome to Tire Discounters. Oh, hiya, Phantom.
Mike, you may be in big trouble with Chip Wood.
Our owner?
Free oil changes along with alignment?
On any 4-tire purchase.
And Goodyear's up to $160 off?
Yeah.
Sorry, Mike, but I'm telling.
But the Wood family is behind all this.
Oh, those rascals.
But don't tell the accountants.
Of course not. And what do they do again?
Buy any set of 4 tires at Tire Discounters and get a free alignment and oil change. Make them Goodyear's and save up to $160 more.
store for details.
For more than 25 years, Brothers Roofing and Construction has been serving Central Ohio with dependable roofing, siding, and exterior repairs. We do the job right. We communicate effectively and stand behind our work. So when quality matters, call Brothers Roofing and Construction.
From military life to a rewarding career in IT, kickstart your new journey in a matter of months in the fields of IT and cybersecurity, including AI. Learn more at mycomputercareer.edu/CWP. Financial aid is available for qualified students, including VA benefits.
Winning isn't everything, but at Tim Hortons, every day's a chance to win when you play Roll Up to Win. Maybe it's a free coffee or donut, or a year's supply of fuel from Shell. That goes a long way. Maybe it's a Kobo e-reader, or up to $1,000 in Uber Eats gift cards, or even a VIP getaway to see Cirque du Soleil. Okay, not something you win every day. Roll Up to Win, only at Tim Hortons. No purchase necessary, 18 plus, ends March 22nd, 2026. Tim Hortons app required for digital game. Use the app to reveal digital rules. Game cups while supplies last. Offer a chance to win food and beverage prizes only. See official rules at rolluptowin.com.
It's child's play to donate your car, truck, RV, or boat to Ronald McDonald House Charities of Central Ohio. They'll pick it up free of charge, steer you through the paperwork, and a hefty tax deduction rolls your way as you help provide a home away from home for families of seriously ill, hospitalized children. For more information about donating your vehicle to Ronald McDonald House Charities, visit rmhc-centralohio.org or call 614-CARS-HELP. That's 614-CARS-HELP.
Great Lakes Hyundai, the savings are so good.
This tax season, save your refund. Get a 2026 Tucson or Santa Fe at 0% for 60 months and make no payments for 90 days. Columbus or Dublin or glexhyundai.com. See dealer for details. Offer ends 3/2.
Day 1, the hardest day. The day you hear,
"This is a type of blood cancer."
At the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society, we are here to help you move past day 1. To learn more and get help on any day, visit LLS.org or call 1-800-955-4572.
All your favorite fan shows are on YouTube, along with those fake YouTube ads like Chew This Gum and It Grows New Teeth. Experience the splendor of Bo sitting in his closet, Timmy Hall's gouty gold chains, and Matty Ice wearing a coat in 90-degree weather. It's all there. Head to YouTube and subscribe today.
Hey, it's T-Bone again. Listen up. Sleep apnea doesn't have to rule your nights. Dr. Mark Levy's been treating snoring and sleep apnea for over 15 years with proven results. And now he has an office in Marysville. Call 1-800-MORE-SLEEP or go to sleepbettercolumbus.com. Stop snoring, sleep better, live better.
Last year, we had 295 trials where we'd been offered a total of $90 million on all those cases. When the dust settled, we had recovered over $1.1 billion in verdicts and mid-trial settlements. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. We became America's largest injury firm for a reason. We won a lot, $30 billion and counting. The best part of all those wins is that it helps you when you hire us. All those wins allow us to let the insurance company know we mean business. And believe me, they know who we are. If you've been injured, Google Morgan & Morgan results. You're not bragging if it's a fact. 3 million people tried to hire us last year alone. That happened for a reason. Visit forthepeople.com and let's get started this minute. Morgan & Morgan, forthepeople.com.
Morgan & Morgan, Ohio office located at 600 Vine Street, Cincinnati. Prior results do not guarantee a similar outcome.
The Fan Guest Hotline is sponsored by Federal Elite Heating and Cooling and Bryant, doing whatever it takes to keep you and your home comfortable. The Fan.
When General Sherman marched through Georgia, he was listening to this show.
Use your skills for good, young warrior.
This is Bishop and Friends.
I generally like Bruce Pearl. I think he's funny, charismatic. I generally like him. He wins. A lot of places he wins. Won at Tennessee, obviously won at Auburn at a high clip. But this, and I think he probably got what he wanted. He actually got on Barstool, too, and he was all excited about that. He made a comment at the end of last week, or maybe it was on Saturday, about Miami not being one of the 68 best teams, even though they are undefeated. Instead, claiming that that they are not that. And I just think it's absurd for anybody to say emphatically that they're not. They're ranked in the top 20s in the country. Like, what are we doing here? It is such a bozo take. And for a second, I thought it was about Auburn because his kid's coaching at Auburn and they're 6-10 in the league, but that's not about them either. Like, how many SEC teams do I need to see playing this thing?
All of them?
I guess. All of them?
Do you want to hear what he had to say?
Go ahead.
Miami, Ohio, here's the deal. Are we going to select the 68 most deserving teams, or are we going to select the 68 best teams? If we're selecting the 68 best teams, then Miami, Ohio is going to have to win their tournament to qualify as a champion. Because as an at-large, they are not one of the best teams in the country. And that's going to be a difficult choice for the committee to make.
How the hell do you know?
That's my point. What are you talking about?
Like, I need to see 20-12 Auburn or... I mean, right. I hate what I'm about to say, but 20-11 Ohio State?
Right.
Like, how the hell do you know?
It's one of those, like, we had that because we have discussed what Miami's up against if they don't win the Mid-American Conference Tournament Championship. So say Akron and John Gross beat them in the finals, then Miami all of a sudden starts becoming like an Indiana fan. Which is, and I've said this, insane, because that league is deserving of two bids.
Yes.
Reese, there's still time for us to go to Athens on Friday.
9 o'clock tip, brother.
9's late.
Can't do it. I know
they
my
won at the
limitations.
buzzer Friday.
They did.
Miami won at the buzzer Friday against Western Michigan.
On CBS Sports gave the 3 points to Western Michigan. Oh. And so when it went final, you'd see the image of Western Michigan beating Miami with Miami players celebrating.
They were down. They were down 10 or 11 with 8 minutes left.
Well, they were without starters too.
Yeah,
the point guard
didn't
was out.
play.
Scaljak didn't play, so there's that part of it. So they are against Toledo at home tomorrow, and then they're, to your guys' point, they're in Athens on Friday night, 9 o'clock, ESPN2. So I just couldn't disagree with that more. They're 29-0. Watch them play.
Put them in.
They can score it on anybody. What do we have in the poll today?
So
Reece?
the Daily Fan poll, sponsored by JT's Pizza and Pub, asks, following their win over Purdue, which do you think is more likely? Ohio State misses the NCAA tournament or the Buckeyes make the Sweet 16? 70% of respondents say Ohio State missing the tournament is more likely than Ohio State making the Sweet 16.
I mean, I'm in a good mood on a Monday despite the snow, so I'm going to say more likely they make the Sweet 16. But yeah, the smart is on the other, just because you're talking about now you got to win 2 games once you're in. I do think they're going to get in. All right, time for 3 things on a Monday.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3 things.
Sponsored by Newman Roofing. For all your roofing, gutter, or siding needs, call Newman Roofing today at 614-NEW-ROOF or visit online at newmanroofing.com.
All right, number 1 for me, our youth basketball banquet is tonight. Always sum up the season, get all the travel teams together, then they break out with their teams and reflect on the season. It's something we've done for years, and I'm very appreciative of it, very appreciative of the kids, the moms, the coaches, everybody who donates their time, the dads, all of it. I really look forward to it. It's a really fun thing, and ours is tonight. If you are part of an organization that does youth sports at various age groups and stuff, and you're not doing something like this, I couldn't recommend it more highly enough. It's really a nice ribbon on the season. The high school coach will talk, and it's just a nice touch to end the season. So always a day I look forward to.
So the Blue Jackets have most of their games on FanDuel Sports Network. I think they've got a handful of nationally televised games left this season. Of course, every Blue Jackets game you can hear right here on the Fan. CBJ have 2 more left on CW, so they're putting them out for the Rabbit Ears. You got a game on March 19th and a game on March 26th against the Canadians. FanDuel Sports Network isn't great. It went out for a lot of fans back on Saturday. So this I say to the Blue Jackets, put them all out on the Rabbit Ears. Give the fans the opportunity to watch this product. It will pay off for you, because what's not paying off is the RSN model. That is dying.
Yeah. People got to watch it, man. Let them, if you can.
Give it to the people.
Yeah.
This day in 1962, the Philadelphia 76ers beat the New York Knicks 169-147. In that game, Wilt Chamberlain scored 100 points.
Allegedly.
He put up 63 shots, shot 32 free throws. The only player in the NBA since with 50-plus shots, Kobe Bryant in his final game.
Yeah, and he had 60 in that game, but it took 50-some shots. I remember watching that one live. He did hit his last couple. That game took place in Hershey, Pennsylvania, between the Knicks and the Sixers, and it took place without a three-point line. Imagine getting to 169 without a 3.
Wow.
I mean, that's just stupefying. 300 combined points without a 3. This was our first weekend without youth basketball. This happens every single year that I do this. You wake up on a Saturday morning and you're like, what do I do with my hands? And I always say I'm so thankful for it because it gets you through winter. And if you weren't playing a youth sports in the winter with the boys, I really don't know what the hell I would do because it's a lot of just staring at walls, especially when it's cold. So I'm always very appreciative. And this weekend always hits different because it's the first weekend where we don't have games.
So it's been a busy winter, obviously, to your point. I'm just kind of catching up on the Love is Blind Ohio season. Not watching it, but just reading up on stories and seeing what social media has to say about it. Maybe stop doing Love is Blind. Maybe we just don't do that. We don't do that show anymore. To everybody from Ohio who participates, I hope you have just annoying cell phone issues. Like your battery can't hold a charge or you can't send a text or everyone in your group text has green text. I wish that on you.
Reese, you can chime in on Matty Ice and JP's podcast on Love is Blind. Hey,
so dumb.
I kept the pod down this week. That music means the Jake Diebler show is up next. Hear from the coach on the Buckeyes' big win yesterday.
Yeah, Coach, good luck to you, man. Keep it going. Get that win at Penn State. Beat Indiana, and let's go dancing, brother. Big win on Sunday. Drink that one all the way up. That's coming up next. Rothman and Ice Stafaro, Bishop and Friends, right here on The Fan.
Catch the latest from the world of Ohio State athletics. Weeknights at 6 on The Buckeye Show.